Okay, sorry about that, guys. We are back. We are live. Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real-world events, to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You are currently watching the Self-Improvement Sunday Drawing Group with me, Jason Leeser. Um, Artists, feel free to zoom in by clicking on the link in the event area on the Reinventing the Tattoo page. If it's your first time zooming into Reinventing the Tattoo, you could always win a limited run t-shirt, so please feel free to tune in. You might be beaming in from YouTube or Facebook, or maybe you're listening to our podcast, but you can always get the latest Reinventing the Tattoo event schedule and notifications at the official Reinventing the Tattoo community, found at both the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, or directly at reinventingthetattoo.com. All Reinventing the Tattoo network shows, art jams, drawing groups, interviews, panels, webinars, all of it can be enjoyed on demand and found in the library, as well as the YouTube and podcast channels. There are countless tattoo and art rabbit holes for you to dive into. It's perfect for the front room of your studio or to entertain your clients while they're getting tattooed. We have a number of weekly staple shows that we always encourage people to tune into, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. with me, Jason Leeser, for the Self-Improvement Sunday Drawing Group. And that is followed up on Monday mornings at 11 a.m. with the Tattoo Weekly broadcast, followed Monday evenings at 9 p.m. with a Reinventing the Tattoo subscriber exclusive drawing group with Guy Aitchison himself. That's followed on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. with Ricardo Sertivant, a very good friend of mine, incredible artist and extremely talented tattooer. Wednesdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley. And Thursdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Collecting podcast with Fawn Baker and Jordan Ruckus. We have a number of real world events coming up as well. April 11th through 14th, we have the Inspiring Tours in New Hampshire with Sean Barber and Nick Baxter. And since I know that this year's is full, you can always get on the waiting list for the next one by going to http://inspiring.tours to get on the list for the next one. May 20th through 22nd, we will all be at Hell City, Columbus, Ohio. June 3rd through 5th, I will be attending the Deadly Tattoo Convention in Calgary, Canada. And July 29th through 31st, we will be at the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio with Tony Urbanik. I'd like to take a moment to go through and thank some of our sponsors, the people that make this kind of stuff happen. Starting off with Raw Pigments, an ink company that's tapping into the source, rawpigments.co. I've started to incorporate a vast number of these into my lineup to the point that it's pretty much all I use. They're great. They're absolutely amazing. It's more like old school powder-based pigment, very easy to saturate, very quick to go in, and very, very bright. And they're also light, fast pigments, which means any kind of color fading that you might get over time that doesn't naturally occur due to skin regrowth, yeah, it's going to be there, and it's going to be brilliantly bold. Next, I would like to go through and thank worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They've got constant live updating as a lot of shows are being rescheduled and a lot of events are being rescheduled throughout the world. So if you want the latest and most up-to-date news on what tattoo events are coming to your area, or maybe to an area that you want to travel to, go to worldtattooevents.com. It's where I personally keep up to date with all of the events that I have going on, so you can't go wrong. Next, we have Delize Pro, also known as Dermalize Pro in the rest of the world. Protect your art. If you're still using cling wrap to wrap your tattoos, it's time to step your game up. This stuff was designed by wound care specialists, and it is absolutely incredible. I have never had a tattoo heal so fast and so thoroughly and so bright than when I've used this stuff. So I highly recommend you take a look at DLize Pro. Next, we have Tattoo Now, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in SEO and professional development for tattooers of all levels. And they're now accepting new clients. If you're really looking for a way to increase your internet presence, if you're really trying to attract a lot more of those clients that you want to tattoo, you can't go better than going with Tattoo Now. They're really going to help you get your name out there and really help you get that business that you really want. And last, but definitely not least, and a very personal thank you to Guy Aitchison for being the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. You can reach him at guyaitchison.com, where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, any number of his DVDs, some of his custom, very limited edition coil machines. I think there's only a couple of them left. So if you like to collect old coil machines like I do, you can't go wrong with a custom Guy Aitchison coil machine. He also has a number of original paintings for sale as well as prints and all types of other things. And of course, a big thank you to two of our affiliates, the Fireside Tattoo Network with Jake Meeks, where if you've already got your foot in the door and you are already tattooing and you want to learn how to tattoo better, go take a look at the Fireside Tattoo Network. There is a wealth of knowledge there that has completely changed some of the things that I do when I tattoo. And of course, if you're trying to get your foot in the door and you're currently an apprentice or you're an apprentice hopeful, check out the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. You won't find a better source of inspiration and a better source of information dealing with tattoo apprenticeships and the right ways to go about getting them, what to expect, etc. So highly recommend you take a look at those. And as always, please post positive reviews on the channel. Help us get the word out. If you like the content and if you like what we're saying, if you think, you really enjoy tuning into these shows, by all means, please click that like and subscribe button down below. Or maybe it's to the upper right if you're on the podcast channel, but either way, please make sure to like and subscribe, help get the word out. We're really trying to get a better presence. And we're really trying to reach the people that want to be involved. Also, if you have any interest in hosting a Reinventing the Tattoo live event, please let us know. You can email management at reinventingthetattoo.com. Cheers, and thank you to a growing crew of contributing artists. You guys are really helping us reach a much broader base and really helping us help a lot of other people out that might need it. So thank you. And without further ado, we are back. We are live, which is awesome. I didn't even know that. Thank you, Vimeo, for causing a great deal of pause and anxiety. Was not super thrilled with that, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to.
You got it. You got this, man. You're doing great.
Who's that? Is that Ricardo? That's Ricardo. Yeah. That's Ricardo from the live drawing groups on Tuesday mornings. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm in this mother. What's up, guys?
Also, I'd like to take a quick second and do just a real quick plug. I was just at an event this past weekend called the Explorer Tattoo Conference. If you are a tattoo artist and you have anywhere between, if you have any more than 5 years doing tattoos and you really want to be one of those people that is in that A list, that top 2% of tattooers in the world, you have got to attend the Explorer Tattoo Conference. It literally changed my entire perspective on the business side of tattooing and the art side of tattooing. It's always led by an incredible lineup of top tier tattooers, and the knowledge you will gain from attending that is absolutely priceless. So I just wanted to give them a quick plug. So, and thank you to Russ Abbott. Thank you, Teresa Sharp. Thank you, BJ Betts. Thank you, Kelly Dottie. Thank you, Bill Canales. Thank you, sir. Thank you to everyone involved with the Explorer Tattoo Conference. Kyle Cotterman was there. He was absolutely mind blowing with his color theory. I mean, just thank you. I can't thank any of you enough for everything that you've taught me this past weekend. So thank you.
It's nice, man.
When I say it changed my world, it literally changed my world.
It's awesome. It's good
It
to hear
was,
stuff like that.
I mean, it was, I mean, Russ Abbott did an entire 2 hour long presentation just on, you know, understanding your value, you know,
Yeah.
and that's something that I know
Self-worth, you mean?
myself. Well, your value, right? So there's self worth and then there's self value. How much do you view yourself? Like, how much value do you put on the work that you do?
Yeah.
Right. Which is to me a little bit different than self worth, right? That self worth to me is more how do I envision myself and what kind of a worth do I put on myself, you know, as an entity? And this is valuing your work. You know, are you getting paid what you should be getting paid?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he talks about inflation, which increases yearly, and how most artists that are out there that have been charging $150 an hour for 10 years, you know, in all actuality, that same $150, it's more like they're only charging $100 an hour now. Due to inflation and the increasing cost of living, you know, and how most artists out there are not keeping up to date with the rising cost of inflation in their pricing structures alone. Um, you know, different, and he went in to talk about, you know, preparation. You know, how much time are you really putting into each individual design, and are you getting paid for that? You know, because if you're not getting paid for the time in which you sit down and you take the time to invest into whatever it is you're coming up with, you know, then that's time you're literally working for free. And that's where I know myself, I know a lot of other tattooers as well, that we put in countless hours of work just on the designs alone, coming up with something that's really going to be perfectly unique and fit the individual, you know?
Funny that you mentioned that, man. It's funny that you mentioned that. I've been working on these 2 designs. I sent you guys a real rough sketch of that fairy that I drew up. And I finished it, I colored it and everything, dude. I sent it and they sent me some more reference of stuff that they want instead of what I drew.
How many
And
days before your appointment did you send it over?
This is 2 weeks, 2 weeks beforehand, because they're flying in from Boston. So I'm trying to be accommodating and be as, you know, as comforting in their idea, even though I've tattooed an entire sleeve on him already. It's pretty interesting, you know what I mean, to have that happen. But you're right, Jason, because like just to touch on the point of what you're saying, which is the amount of time that has been invested into this drawing already, and then I'm gonna stop and start all over and then do another one entirely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's
So
time.
that's
And time is money.
like 15 plus hours for sure on that drawing, easy.
Yeah.
You know?
Are
Yeah, dude.
you are you considering, or did you consider like charging? I just had a really similar situation happen where I found myself having to very respectfully explain, you know, how much time was dedicated to, because it was a full back piece too, and
Yeah.
she had already approved it, and I continued to work on it, detailing it, and I did send it early for the same reason, you know, just because I want to have more than enough time to prepare for it, finish the details of the back piece.
Right.
But she ended up changing her mind and saying that, you know, like maybe it's too big for her tiny body, right? And that maybe I can play around with another idea.
Well, so here's
And
my
so
question, Bruno.
no,
Here's
and
my
so I had
question
to.
then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My question is, since if you drew it up to the agreed upon size and now she's changing her mind about the size,
Yeah.
that's one thing.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're talking about a new design, you know, after spending a lot of time and putting a lot of love into, you know, the other project, right? But thankfully, you know, she understood, and she thought that it was only fair, and but I did feel like I had to say something at that point. And as a matter of fact, in that moment, I realized that from now on, I need to make something that explains the clients beforehand. Okay, headphone just fell. Sorry about that. Like these type of things, just to avoid confusion, so that the client also kind of has an idea of, because maybe they have no clue that it was going to take so long, right? That how much time we put into it, or they just don't stop to think about it. So maybe just a little information beforehand when the appointment is made could help in those situations.
And that's where a lot of artists, that's where a lot of artists are really starting to crack down on things. And that's another thing that was really brought up during the Explorer conference was, getting a form out there, letting people know and being very upfront with them about what your expectations are, what they can expect from you, and what you expect from them. And they put it all in very clear writing. A lot of places even have a form to fill out. If it's a minor change, maybe adjusting something a tiny little bit, or like, hey, I'm not really a big fan of this flower here. Can we just get rid of it? Sure. Minor change, wipe it right off.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a big deal. Right. But we're talking about the entire design.
So when you're talking about an entire design change, an entire concept change, that's where it gets into, okay, if you're changing your concept, you're putting down another deposit. And I'm keeping the previous deposit as a drawing fee for the time that I put into that drawing.
And it's more than reasonable, just the deposit, you know what I mean? For all those.
And so in concerning deposits, one of the people that presented this past weekend made it a very clear point to make sure that, make them leave a deposit so that if they no call, no show, or cancel on you, or have a design change, that you're happy about it.
Yep.
Okay. If you're doing $100 deposit on an all-day back piece, and you've never tattooed this person before, you don't know if they're reliable, $100 ain't going to cut it for me.
No.
Because that's now a whole day that I have opened up that I could have been making that money. So to me, that wouldn't be worth it. You want to leave a $500 deposit on an all-day booking, and I've never tattooed you, and I'm putting in 40 hours worth of drawing time into your design.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because then you have an entire, almost an entire like half a session, right? That's put aside that they don't have to pay for at the end of it.
Yep. I agree.
So, that's my 2 cents.
I totally agree.
Medusa?
I actually have a question.
The answer is 23.
Oh,
there you go.
God.
It's 43 or 42.
I thought it was 42.
No,
it's 42. Yeah, it's 42.
For this instance, the answer is 23. The overall general answer is 42. You're correct. But right now in this moment, it's 23.
Gotcha.
Jason, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had my audio turned off there for a minute. Sorry about that. I was just going to say that I found that sometimes, when clients have a little bit too much time to think about something, they tend to overthink it, right? And they're really trusting our professional opinion and guidance in a lot of it. And sometimes having that confidence with the design and presenting it in a particular way makes them feel better about it. But when you're like, well, what do you think about this? Or you start asking questions, that's when they start getting nitpicky over things that don't even necessarily need to be addressed, right? Like,
well, in some instances, and we got to answer Medusa's question that she has, but in some instances, like, what should we call it? Some people want you to tattoo an entirely different style than you even do, because they've seen the tattoo reference and it's already an existing tattoo on somebody. Either they want that tattoo as is, or they want you to get as close to that style as possible. And then that's one of those things that you take care of in the consultation and telling them, this is more for idea reference. This isn't a style reference at all, because I'm not going to tattoo like that. And I don't tattoo like that, so that's another thing to take into consideration outside of these questions, because some people do get tattooed heavily right out of the gate when they don't have very many tattoos at all. So it is something that they're experiencing for the first time, the process of it and how does this work, right?
Yeah. And that's where the confidence too comes in, right? Like being able to
assertiveness.
Yeah. It's not, you know.
It's a good point. You want to be strategic, not because you're trying to be sneaky, but just because, you know, there is that you just want to have the right approach as far as like the presentation, like you said, and how you explain things and the timing, because there is that chance, you know, that if you turn in something a little too early, it's that, I guess, human nature maybe, but like, you know, they tend to ask everyone for, you know, what they think, and
all of a
and
sudden
they
their
become
boyfriend or
influenced
girlfriend has
by it.
input.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so strategic in the sense of like, you know, discussing some of those things once you're already close to the appointment. That way you reduce the chances of, I mean, you don't want to pressure anyone into it, but at the same time, you want to keep yourself from that additional unwanted, I guess, influence that could end up interfering in the overall results of the project, because what will happen is that it'll push us away from what the artist's vision is, and usually that tends to bring the best results, right?
Absolutely. When Jake the Butcher starts putting his ideas into Susie's tattoo and it doesn't, you know, Jake should just stick to cutting meats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Medusa, I did want to get back to you though, and I do apologize for not getting to your question. By all means, please lay it on us. Let us know.
It is related to like customer relations. Last night, by the way, yesterday I took 11 walk-ins, which is my record for walk-ins, and I was jacked up on 6 shots of espresso, and I was like, I'll take more. And my receptionist is like, we're closing. Like, we want to go home. But I'm very proud of taking 11 walk-ins. I hopped the fence with that one. It was very, very fun day. However, the last guy of the day was relentless with haggling and demanded that him and his girlfriend should pay less than half of what the shop minimum is. And I think he was trying to be funny, but it got to a point where, like, I didn't hear this. It was with my receptionist the whole time. By the time I dealt with him, he was totally nice and calm and everything. And I had heard about it afterwards. And I'm kind of upset with how rude he was towards the shop. And I was just wondering for advice on how to handle people trying to haggle you in the future, but remain professional and keep the client.
Ask him questions.
It's a good question.
Ask him why he thinks he should pay less when the minimum is clearly stated. Ask him why, and then let him give you an answer, and then say, "Well, that's a great answer, but it's still going to be X amount of dollars for the minimum charge."
I was pretty upset to find out about how pushy he was with the receptionist. Like, and what I wanted to do was just be like, do you think that I'm not worth this? Are you saying I'm worth less? Like, my work is worth less? And are you trying to say that this small business who's been in this neighborhood and in this community for 20 years, my shop is one of the longest running shops in the city, and we've been tattooing everybody. Do you think that we're not worth paying? A part of this community isn't worth supporting?
Yeah, a lot of times looking people directly in the eye too, and just like, you know, you kind of call them out on it, like in the way that Jason was or Ricardo was just saying that, you know, ask them directly, because you can put a stop to that attitude pretty quickly by looking somebody in the eye and just asking them honestly that question. That, I mean, put it exactly the way you just said it, Medusa. Do you find that my work is not worth that? You know, and they oftentimes, you know, there's not much that they're going to say back. You know, when you confront people with things and you do it in an honest manner, it now puts the pressure back on them to check themselves, to realize what they just said, how they said it, you know, and a lot of times people will kind of backtrack and apologize, or, you know, maybe see the error of their ways quickly.
Yeah, I think I think about something that was like especially frustrating with this particular person was that they were covered in a lot of really good tattoos.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So it wasn't their first or second tattoo.
Yeah.
This person had sat for hours before.
Yeah.
Well, ask them why they didn't go back to their other artists. Why didn't they go to their other artists?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one too.
You know, I mean, there had to have been something there.
Such good tattoos. Then what are you doing here in the first place, right?
Yeah. Why are you bothering to come here when obviously, like, your homie back at home does pretty sick work? You know, so what brings you in here today? That's just where I would go with my questioning. I mean,
and a lot of that too, kind of, I found that, you know, you have those conversations more often in the first decade of tattooing than you do in the later years.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so kind of hanging in there, and sometimes, you know, you take some verbal lumps from clients, but then you learn how to deal with those people going forward.
Yeah.
You can kind of spot those situations and diffuse them before they happen, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm not great with customer relations. I maintain that the only thing I can do well is draw. Don't ask me to do math. Don't ask me to talk to people. Don't ask me to carry on an appropriate conversation that doesn't involve jokes.
We've already established that your conversations are far from appropriate at any given time.
I'm sorry.
It's not a bad thing. It's not.
It sounded gnarly.
That's why we like
just now.
You know, having experience working in, you know, I had plenty of retail jobs prior to tattooing full time and working in the restaurant industry. I'll still go back to experiences that I had back then and use those experiences to inform how I'm dealing with certain situations and environments today.
Yeah, see, I worked in the restaurant industry for a few years, but they kept me in the back of the house. And the one time that I was brought up to learn bartending, I got like fired within a week.
Oh, man.
Like a few years in the back of the house, and the moment I get a chance to talk to customers, bam, I'm out.
I think in the right, I think it's like this. You have to kind of like take into consideration the environment and the person that you're dealing with, right? Like ultimately the goal is that we all want to be treated the way we would like to be felt made nice, right? Or like be made to feel comfortable. So we try our best to treat other people in the same manner, but not everybody wants to be treated the same way. Everybody wants to feel comfortable and everything like that. But timing, tone, and technique is what I've been told in the past. And it's kind of true, where I agree with Seth, where it's important for you to be assertive, and post yourself into a position of you're the one that is being asked this question, like the thing with some money. So you have to be assertive. You have to be clear of the fact that you're trying to make them feel like they're being judged too, or let yourself feel like you're being judged. Because I think a lot of it boils down to that. Like in any kind of moment of confrontation, which is usually growth, right? Like you fucking just you kind of start to get a lot of different senses of emotions sometimes, and you have to kind of take those into consideration. But I think I agree with Steph where it's important to just go, all right, check it out. I'm going to look you straight in the eyes and I'm going to ask you why you even asked me that question in the first place. And it does put people in that moment of, oh crap, what am I doing? Because maybe that dude was just really trying to be funny, but it's not cool. After a while, it's like, all right, dude, the joke's over. You're done. Like, stop talking. So, and then the whole thing with the jokes and all that stuff, so I think it's funny, but I think that it's time and tone and the place where you're at. You know what I mean? But because like in a bar, I don't understand why it would be unappreciated to have jokes like that with people. It's crazy.
You know, sometimes when people, you know, you get the collectors that have been around the business for a long time, and then they find themselves in a new environment, a new tattoo environment with a new artist, they may, you know, they carry a little bit of like that swagger where they're like, well, I've been here before, you know, this isn't my first rodeo, and I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. And that's where, you know, just setting the tone early on for those type of conversations and interactions can go a long way down the road. And where in other instances you may have been turned off by working with a client like that, and you learn how to deal with somebody like that, and you're like, you know what, it's not so bad, you know, because you actually hold the power in the situation, not them.
Yep.
You know?
And
that doesn't need to be a power
is something
struggle.
that comes down to confidence.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
a lot of that I attribute to confidence, because when I, you know, for the first 5 or 6 years I was tattooing, I wasn't very confident at all in anything I was doing. I was still trying to feel. I felt like a blind person in a pitch black room trying to throw darts at a dartboard and trying to get a bullseye, right? Like I felt that lost, and it sucks, but I did. You know, so, and I didn't have the confidence. As I started to move through my career and really started to gain the confidence and look at a lot of other people and what they were doing, how they were acting, you know, what they were saying, how they were dealing with certain situations. Okay, great. I'm a bit more confident now, and you know what? I know how to handle this. And people see that when they come into the studio and they want to get tattooed by you, they see that level of confidence that you have. And they're like, okay, well, I know there's no bargaining with this guy, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. Yeah, the bargain is you're getting an awesome tattoo with a wealth of knowledge behind it, right?
Right.
Like it's not just a moment, you know, somebody's coming in, even if it's a, you know, an infinity symbol, something small, a name, you know, some lettering. They're not paying just for that. They're paying you for the cumulative knowledge that you have that you're applying to that tattoo. You know,
right. And the value that you've, you know, all of the seminars we take, all of the learning that we do, all of the courses that we take in tattooing, all of the fine art courses that we take to help better our art skills, all of that.
Yeah.
All of that adds to your personal value as an artist.
Yeah.
You know, I once got asked by a former studio owner that I used to work for, like, why are you charging so much? And I said, because I've invested in myself.
Was that the same studio that I met you in, Jason?
No, it was the one after that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was like, well, you know, are you reinvesting in your knowledge to increase your rate? You know, I've been a Reinventing the Tattoos subscriber for 2 years. I've attended multiple conferences, watched multiple seminars. I've gone out and, you know, I flew out to California to get tattooed by someone just so that I could watch their process and learn how they did what they did. You know, I've flown out to London to attend the London show just to walk around and ask people questions. That's me investing in my tattoo knowledge base. You know, I just got done the Explorer conference, which was not cheap, but it was worth 4 times as much as I paid for it. Right. But it definitely was not cheap.
I just looked at the tickets for Explorer, and it says it's a 3-day seminar pass. Does that mean the ticket covers going to all the seminars you want to go to?
Yes. They don't have it set up so it's multiple rooms. It's one stage, one presenter at a time over 3 days.
That's awesome.
Dude. All right.
So they do
no,
2 seminars a day for 3 days in a row. Sometimes they'll do 3 presenters if they try to squeeze someone in last minute. But it's 2 to 3 presenters doing their presentations every single day for 3 days in a row with networking events afterwards and really, really excellent content. Like these guys are prepared like you would not believe. I mean, they've got slideshows, they've got laser pointers that they're pointing shit out. Like they'll go through and do portfolio critiques with you. It's
I'm down to do that next year for sure.
Oh,
I got
dude,
on the pod. I only found out about it for you, Jason. So is a little bit removed from the situation, but I'm on board for sure.
So they're doing the next one in August in Indiana. And I don't think they've announced the next one after that, but I think they're doing it twice a year now. So like usually once in the winter and then once in the summer. And not just that, but so the Explorer Tattoo Conference, Explorer Tattoo, the entity itself actually has products out that you can buy, like cartridges and stuff like that. If you're a big fan of Black Claw cartridges, knowing that they almost always run out constantly of exactly what you need, you know, they always have stuff you don't need that you're fully stocked up on. But like, you know, that one like bug pin 11 round liner cartridge that you really need, and they're always sold out of it for like 3 weeks, and you're like, where am I going to go to get this? Right? Take a look at Explorer cartridges. I don't know this for a fact, but I could swear they are the exact same thing, just in a different box.
Like those hella tight fours, for example. Those are hard to find anywhere else because they're like 30 millimeters, extra long paper.
Yeah, those are the bug pin extra tight groupings for the hella tight
Explorer cartridges.
Explorer. I picked up a couple of boxes just to try them out and just see what they were like. Picked up a couple of liner groupings, and like down to the configuration number stamps on the top of the cartridges are pretty much identical to Black Claw.
It's interesting.
So
good to know, man.
Maybe Black Claw, but less expensive with a different name.
That's really good to know. I think something that's really common shop talk is, is anybody able to get any Black Claw? And I hear that a lot at the shop when we're talking about, you know, our supplies and stuff. Just people asking who's got Black Claw.
It's almost like you need like a street corner dealer that's like,
Yo,
I got that Black Claw, man.
Yeah.
I got that Black Claw, man. What you need? What you need? I got that.
Yo, man.
Hey, I'll tell you a funny story. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I was just joking around.
About with the pigment from that point of view. Actually, down at Baker Street, I haven't used it much because I've been using pre-dispersed for so long. I have a set of old gold that's probably from 2009. And I can only imagine, like, the next time I do a traditional tattoo, I'll use it. I'll probably be like using latex house paint. I mean, it'll probably just sit amazing in the skin. But that stuff's like, that shit's really, really hard to find. Man, I saw a guy at the convention over the weekend, and he was getting like $50 or $60 a bottle for this stuff. And I mean, these bottles I have are barely used and from 09. So I'm psyched to use them. But it's fun to, like, when you hold on to stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, you imagine like years down the road, just go, oh man, I still got this stuff available. And then it becomes like a secret. Oh shit, man, can I use some of that old gold that you got?
Yeah, let me get a cap of that yellow.
Yeah, right.
That'll be $50, please.
Yeah, let me get a cap of that like true blue you got over there.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yo, you got any of that green left?
Brown. It's like certain machines. It's like certain machines too, dude. I used to have this Aaron Kane little G, the grimy liner that he had. Oh yeah, man, that thing was
I got amazing, one of those things,
dude.
Man. The G machine.
Yeah, the little G, dude. That thing was amazing. Dude, mine got stolen at the airport. Oh, mine was stolen out of my toolbox at the airport, dude. And a machine that I had built myself too, and like the super soft shader. I love that fucking thing. And then they both got stolen out of my case. Yeah, dude, it sucks.
Yeah, but that thing's an absolute workhorse.
Yeah, it's exactly it, dude. I think that's where I got it. There was workhorse too, and like, man.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
it was amazing. Yeah.
Can I?
So.
Oh.
What?
Completely off topic. Can I show you guys what I'm working on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Not completely off topic. It's tattoo related. So to make up for the fact that I make too many, fart jokes at work.
Oh, no.
You can never have too many.
No.
Yeah. Well, you know, just not friend. It's just, yeah, not everybody's cup of tea. So I like to give I like to give all my clients little gift bags at the end of their tattoos.
That's fun.
And I've been assembling my neck set. I have tattoo aftercare cards with my logo and information on it. My business cards, which I don't know if any of you got any at Paradise, but I like to put I take address labels and I put my information on that, and then I put them on playing cards.
Oh, cool.
Those are usually really fun. They're slightly larger and stiffer than a normal business card, so it sticks out in a wallet. You know, when people grab it in their pocket and somebody's not so quick to throw away a playing card, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is a playing card?" And I got these ones. I got are really cool because they have fun animal facts on them. Some of them are about sharks, some are about cats, some about dogs. So that's really fun. And I add a little dum-dum, and usually I have stickers in here too, but I sent Sandy actually the last of my stickers, and I'm waiting on another order to come in.
And then you probably sent me 20 stickers, which, by the way, look amazing on stop signs. Not that I'm encouraging that, but people have to stop at stop signs
where they don't belong.
Yeah, for vandalism purposes only.
Yeah. Hey, you know, a guy that I work with at Baker Street is a piercer, and he had a really good piece of advice with like getting people to keep your business card. Put them on a magnet. Nobody throws a magnet away. They always stick it on their fridge, and they look at it every day.
That's a lot more expensive.
Well, they sell. So if you go to Staples, you can get a box, and it's not really cost prohibitive, but you get a box of like the business card size stickers that you stick your card on, rather than having them made at through a company and have them send them to you. Because you're right, that does get expensive. You don't do it all the time, but for like conventions and stuff like that, you get like two boxes of them. We get you a couple dozen of these magnets, and I just found that like nobody, I don't usually throw magnets away. I just stick them on things, and it's usually on a fridge, so you stare at it all the time.
When I first started taking my art seriously and promoting it, actually, that was when I sobered up and quit drinking. I used art as a way to, help cope. And it was amazing therapy. I've been drawing my whole life, but I didn't realize how therapeutic art was until I was actually going through something and needed it. And anyways, art was my new jam. And I had a friend that runs a print shop, and he made me little pocket-sized booklets that just only have like 6 pages in them, but it's like each page has a picture of my art on it. He gave me a bunch of those, and I handed those out as business cards.
Nice.
But a lot of people didn't know that they were just like my form of business cards. They thought I was giving them like a gift that was worth a lot of money. So they like cherished it, and now like there are still people that have it like on display on their mantles at their house and stuff. I'm like, bro, that was just a business card.
Cool though. A neat way to get them to hang on.
Yeah, and it also gives them a taste of what you can do.
Yeah, good job being sober. That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats on that. Congrats on that journey. That stuff is never easy when you're trying to change something that's like kind of deep seated, and it's hard.
Thank you. Yeah, I hit 5 years a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah!
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Dude, I don't think I would have been.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. I don't think I would have been able to do that if it weren't for burying myself in drawing. Like, I think that's why, like, I've been drawing my entire life, since I could pick up a crayon. I've been the family artist. But I don't think I learned how to appreciate art and realize how meaningful it is to me until I needed it that way. So.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing. You can do a lot of positive things for people.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
It's empowering too, like to be able to create something. You know, we don't realize it, I don't think, all of the time, because we do it every day. But there's so many people that are always, you know, oh, I wish I could draw, or I wish I could do something. And I always just figured, well, everybody can draw, just no matter of what level, right? Like everybody used to have like the little scribbles on the side of their notepad in school, or doodles and things like that. And even doodling, even putting those little tiny marks on the side of a page or a book cover, you know, it's your brain's way of relaxing, right? Or meditating in the moment. And you know, not that I'd ever take this stuff for granted, but we do it all the time, and we forget how special it is that we have the ability to create. And even take it one step further, I just took a painting class over the weekend, or last week, an oil painting class, and really amazing artist. And even he was saying, you know, it's tattooing, just it's cool that we're creating living pieces of artwork, you know. And those pieces of art then gain their own experiences or influence other people along the way, and it's pretty rad, more than just hanging on a wall, you know?
Yeah. Pablo Picasso said that every child is born an artist. Is like what else? He said that the problem is how to remain one as we grow up. You know what I mean? When people are
that's interesting. I did not know that.
That's it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. It's I always tell that to everybody whenever they say the same thing. Like, I wish I could draw like you too. It's like, well, you can, but you just have to like invest yourself into understanding the principles of it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I think
I always just
like
ask
when people play guitar.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing as playing any musical instrument. It's how much are you willing to invest in it?
Yeah.
If it's something you really want to do, you'll invest the time, you'll invest the energy, and you'll dedicate yourself to it. And if it's not really a big priority for you, then you're not going to do it. But if you really wanted to do it, you would put the time into it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Bomber says hi.
What up, Bomber?
What's up?
Yes, little dog. Bomber.
Looks like Grogu.
Yes.
My old roommates used to call her Shitty Baby Yoda.
Shitty Baby Yoda. That's the that's like the knockoff version of it, right?
Yeah, this is the version that you get off of Wish.
Yeah.
Grogu.
Grogu.
Frogu.
Yeah. Frogru with an R. Frogru.
Yeah.
Frogru. Oh, man, that's great.
So
what a cute dog, dude.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you guys about a personal moment in your tattoo careering. Like, when was the first time that you realized that tattooing was something that you weren't just doing for you, that you were actually like changing and impacting other people's lives? Like, when was the moment that it hit you that like, oh, I'm actually like, I can help people?
I'll go.
You mean we're supposed to be doing all this stuff for other people?
I know, right?
I just do it because I get a kick out of it. Like,
I've had several moments like that, but I think the most impacting one to me was whenever I tattooed this guy's his wife was passing away from cancer, and she was able to be at home with him when she did. And I guess he looked up at her one day and was just like, literally told him, she's like, I think it's time. You know what I mean? And she used to sign these little notes to him with the smiley face. So he got the smiley face tattooed right here on his thumb. The only tattoo he ever had was like little smiley face right here in the thumb. And he got it because the last letter she wrote was for him to start traveling the world and like meet somebody new and fall in love again and shit like that. You know what I mean? So that was pretty incredible to me. Yeah, that was incredible to me that I was able to be a part of that man's moment that like meant that much to him. You know what I mean? So it's pretty fucking cool.
It's profound.
So that was probably the most impacting one for sure.
Mine dealt with mine was right as I was graduating college, before I really started to tattoo. I think I was just out of my apprenticeship at that time, and like was trying to find a good fit for a studio. And so I was like, I was at a pretty lost place, and this was probably like a month before my brother passed away. And he told me to go out there and tattoo and change the world, you know,
Awesome.
one person at a time if need be. But he's like, dude, you've got it. You've got something in you. You're capable of great things. Go out there and do it. Stop thinking about it and just do it. And you know, through that, it's like, all right, well, yeah, there's a lot more here that maybe I'm not seeing. And that's when it kind of clicked, like, hey, this is for other people, whether it's people we're tattooing or their family members or your family members. There's always someone else behind it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Jason.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah, I think it was also really, really high at the time. So I kind of like take that with like a grain of salt. But, you know, I mean, he liked to get fucked up. He did. Sorry, YouTube. I don't know if we're going to get like an NC-17 rating now that I said the word fuck, but there it is again. So
I think I have to agree with Ricardo. Like those experiences where it's hard for me to pinpoint one. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, like 22 years. And I feel like on more than one occasion, I'm still reminded, even to this day, you know, you do a piece for somebody that's lost a loved one and you see that look of, you know, joy and they get overcome with emotion, and you realize that it's something that you put on them is invoking that type of powerful emotion and kind of reconnecting them to the person that they lost or the pet that they lost. And it makes a big impact. And, you know, you try not to take it for granted because we do it every day, but it's always nice to be reminded, even to this day, when you do a piece and somebody's like, man, you know, you have no idea how much this means to me. And then they kind of feel inside like, dude, I hope you know how much it means to me, you know, that I get to do this for you. And it's pretty awesome. So that, you know, it's hard for me to find one time when that happened, but I can tell you that it still happens, and I'm still appreciative of it every single time.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think the outside of my brother telling me to change the world, it was when a very good friend of mine passed away, and like I was her family's tattoo artist. I tattooed her brother, all of her sisters, her dad. And as of 2 years ago, I had her mom hit me up. She was the last one in the family that was like holding out on getting tattooed for her daughter that passed away. And just the emotion that was in that room at that time was unforgettable.
Yeah.
You know, so there's constantly moments where you're going to remember that.
Yeah, I think it's something that we become kind of desensitized to sometimes, you know what I mean? Because we do it every day. And sometimes some people come in on some there's a very vulnerable kind of moment with you and that client. Sometimes, it's pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. And then there's other times where everybody's just hanging out, you know what I mean? Like it's a crazy dynamic with what we do. Yeah. And like, you know, and I lose sense of that sometimes because I'm in it all the time. And sometimes, you know, the shit we have going on can kind of carry over into some things sometimes. So it's really cool to have that question asked today, Lisa. Thank you.
I think it's really nice to like, because of course we're all drawing because it makes us happy. Where as humans, everybody is seeking fulfillment. And artists typically find a lot of fulfillment through creativity, but it's always nice to like know that our creativity isn't like, yes, we do it just for us, but to find out that it can change somebody else's life and make a positive impact on them is, I think, one of my favorite pros about being a tattooist.
Radical.
I'm a humanitarian by nature. I've always been like involved in all of that stuff and everything. I think one of the first times, so I'm still in the beginning of my career, but shortly after I started working at the shop that I'm at now, I had a girl come in who talked a lot about how she had a lot of back acne in high school and that she has a lot of scarring and wanted to cover it up with some flowers. And I mean, like, I told her, I was just like, I don't see anything. But you know what? It's not I'm not the one that's worried about it. It's not my body, you know? So I gave her some flower tattoos and I didn't really think a whole bunch of it until a couple days later when she emailed me this like long heartfelt email talking about how in her adult life she wore a crop top for the first time
Yeah, dude, that's
because
awesome.
and that she had felt like fully beautiful for the first time and that her husband had even commented that when she came home from the tattoo appointment she seemed like she was glowing and her confidence was immediately boosted and all of that. And I was just like, some people might think it's just a vanity thing, but you know, as somebody like, especially in our culture where it's pressed on women that we have to be so perfect physically, that I think is really nice to help somebody feel confident in their own body. And yeah, anyways, that's the first time that I realized that tattooing can be for more than just vanity. And that made me feel like a valuable member of the community and not just somebody who's, you know, marking up and vandalizing God's beautiful creations.
Yeah, like I feel like
You definitely are.
You know, sometimes people are, you know, a little bit stuck in a way that they look at themselves, and you know, getting a tattoo sometimes can become an opportunity to, you know, like just look at themselves differently. You know, just even though it's just a tattoo, you know, it does something. You know, it kind of renovates your identity and represents you, and so you get the opportunity to give that to someone, you know, and it's pretty awesome. And I embrace the responsibility. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It can make a big difference, even any kind of tattoo, right? I mean, people leave so happy after they get a tattoo that you know you can't help but really give yourself to it to make sure you come through for them every time.
I think after getting that woman's email, it like that, I know specifically that email kind of changed my perspective on tattooing as a career, because like before that I was just thinking, yeah, I do art all the time, but tattooing is just my job. So got to get the clients in, got to get them out, make money, pay the bills, you know, so that I can party on the weekend or whatever. And that I think was the first time that I realized, oh, like these aren't people with dollar signs above their head that I'm just, you know, getting in and out of the chair. These are people whose lives I'm really impacting. And like, I knew I was changing, like I knew I was permanently changing people's appearances, but it didn't really register how much a tattoo can mean to one of my clients until that email. And it like, ever since then, I've been like prioritizing making the client happy and giving them something that they're going to feel amazing wearing, instead of just, oh, you want that thing on the wall? Cool. Give me your money. Bye.
Right. Exactly. Because you know, especially, you know, some of us, we see a design that we like and we're hanging out with some tattoo artist, somebody's like, hey, like, can I check out your sketchbook? You look at something and you're like, yes, that right there, it's cool as fuck looking. Like, I want that tattoo of it. You know what I mean? But other people are there for that very intention where it's like, this is so meaningful to me. Like, I want to have that impact on me. You know what I mean? Yeah, agreed. Now there's a fine line there too, right? There's a fine line where somebody comes in and they want a softball sized tattoo with 30 different family members' names and in each leaf, and you know, the tree of life, and you know, seeds that represent everything, you know, all that stuff like that. But
let's not forget portraits of all of their pets.
Yes, exactly.
And they want it all on their foot and they all want it right now.
And they want, yes, and you have to hide the name in there somewhere too, believe me.
The names and dates.
Hiding the
Yeah,
name
the
is like
name.
my nemesis.
The
Yeah,
number one
hiding
rule.
Yeah, you either want the
Yeah.
name or you don't want the name. Don't hide it.
That's exactly what I say. Like, what are you gonna hide it for if you're gonna get it tattooed on you for it? Like,
Yeah.
why? That
You
makes
know,
no sense to me.
I'll share this. When people will come in and they it's not that, writing. I mean, clearly I'm not BJ with the writing, but sometimes people want a specific thing written, and I get it, and there's an art form to that. But when people come in and they want a phrase written on them and they want to fit it in a certain area, and I always try to talk to them about, like, whenever the poet or the artist, musician, whomever, when they wrote that, they were doing it to paint a picture for you mentally, right? And try to go outside of those words, because once you tattoo the words on them, they'll never be anything more than just that, right? But if you have an image, like something that those words invoke in you, and you can convey that somehow, that'll transcend the years way more than just the writing. As beautiful as writing can be and script can be in a tattoo, and it looks amazing sometimes depending on who's doing it. Sometimes you're better off trying to kind of steer them in the direction of having some imagery. What does that phrase mean to you? What is Robert Frost's, walking through the forest? What does that mean to you outside of just a path through the woods? Is it, well, I grew up around oak trees. Okay, well then let's talk about an oak leaf tattoo or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Something that we can really expand on. Yeah.
So I tell people the exact same thing as Seth, only using way less words.
I'm very wordy.
I also
like to hear myself
like
talk.
this. Well, you do have a very soothing voice, Seth. You do. It's melodic almost. I could fall asleep listening to it. It's great. But I always tell people this: if a picture is worth 1,000 words, why settle for just words?
Yeah.
Something that represents, the personality kind of element that could be a little bit more of an appealing tattoo than just a word or a name.
Exactly. I have them, and then I have them elaborate on it. It's like, cool, let's talk about this. Like, why do you want to get the word warrior tattooed on you? I had someone come in one time and wanted the kanji for duck soup. And not very small either. They wanted it like 6 inches tall. Huh. And it was like, all right, can you explain to me why you want duck soup tattooed on you? And it turns out it was like this big inside joke between him and his mother who passed away, etc. But it's like I'm pretty picky with that, because I don't want people to limit themselves.
I just have that image of the old, I guess, marionette duck with the cigar in his mouth, right? The Groucho Marx.
Yeah.
Huh.
So what point did you guys start to, was there an aha moment for you prior to tattooing when you realized, like Medusa was saying, that this is more than just a job, that something to pursue. This is more than a cool hobby or a neat thing to learn, another medium to work in, where you're like, man, I can really express myself with this. And I mean, because for me, it's tattooing is what afforded me the opportunity to better myself as an artist, to take time off, to take these seminars, to work shoulder to shoulder with people whom I admired, and learn how to paint and all these things. I mean, I did not go to art school outside of high school. And if not for tattooing, I would not have been able to pursue certain educations. And it was early on in my career where I think I realized, oh shit, man, this is more than just rock and roll and wearing whatever I want to at work, man. Like, I could really you can really like dial it down to one thing or one experience. I mean, I was getting tattooed I got tattooed by John Clue at the Allentown convention, and that changed everything for me.
That's awesome, dude. John Clue's an amazing artist.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
I agree with you. I know exactly what you're asking. I think it's not just art, and it's not just what pushes you and stuff. It's not just you becoming. It's like actually becoming a better person sometimes, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think for me, the first time that I realized that was when I was first learning to tattoo, and it was on my friends, and I wasn't charging anybody anything. You know what I mean? And this dude gave me a tip. He gave me $20, and I was like able to go and eat. You know what I mean? I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I can go buy food with this, dude. Like, this rules. You know what I mean? Like, I went and sat down at dinner and stuff like that, dude, and I had some food and stuff. I was like, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm learning something and doing something, and like, I share that time with my friends, and like, now I get to go eat, dude. This is radical. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So I think that was my first time.
Awesome.
My first time where I realized that there was a deeper meaning to tattooing for me personally was, believe it or not, back in high school. So I had a little bit of an interest in becoming a tattoo artist, and like, you know, didn't really think too much of it. I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, it'd be a cool job, blah, blah, blah. And I had to come up with a topic to write my high school term paper on. And I was like, well, you know, let's look into this whole tattoo thing. Like, and it had to be a controversial topic. So I chose tattoos in the workplace, and I needed to come up with a reason why it was controversial and then defend my stance, right, as to whether or not it should be or should not be. And I started to do a lot of research into the history of tattooing and like the background behind it. And well, where is all of this stuff coming from, and how old is it, and how long have people been practicing it? And I started to look at the fact that when you look at the history of tattooing, tattoos were originally done by, for lack of a better term, like religious leaders of the primitive religions back in the day. They were performed by shamans, you know, and they were done for very specific reasons, to give people strength, to help them overcome injury, or to help them overcome an illness, to provide them with protection while they were out on a hunt, you know, to bring fire, you know, like all of these really significant things. And it hit me like, there is way more to tattooing than I ever originally thought. Like, this is a very, very sacred, very deep rooted practice. You know, and that when I started to realize that, it was like, whoa, what am I getting myself into? Right. Because I was always told from a young age, like, if you say you want to do something, you better know what you're talking about. Right. You better know all the ins and outs of it. You better know, like, okay, you say you want to do this for a living. Cool. Tell me why. What kind of future is there in the industry? Like, what are the industry projections and growth rates? Like, what's your expected income? Like, give me the facts. Convince me. So you know, it just kept spurning this like whole concept of, all right, I need to learn more about this. I need to learn more about this. I need to learn more about this. How am I going to learn more about this but to study it? You know, and the more I studied, the deeper I got into it, and the more I started to realize how deep it actually was.
It's awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Mm-hmm. I agree.
How about that moment of irony for you, Jason, where like you're in school and you're finding out about how deep the tattooing is and how far back it goes and these traditions, and you're learning about it, and now you're on the other side of that, you know, helping to provide education to other people, right?
Yeah, never.
Like, there's
thought
always
that
like
would
that
happen.
like, you know, like that moment of irony where Jimi Hendrix walks by the music store and he's like, oh shit, that's a nice guitar, and then years later, you know, he's actually playing, you know what I mean? Like,
I thought that dude invented guitars.
Yeah, right.
So I think I recently had something like that happen to me when I was out at the Red Tree Gallery, and I was talking with Bob Tyrell, and he saw the goldfish painting I was working on at the BYOB, which I hadn't really gotten to do too much more to since then. And he's like, man, that's really, really nice. Like, that's absolutely awesome. And I was like, thanks. You know, it's not quite finished yet. I need to tighten a few things up and really refine a few things. And he's like, well, to me, it looks incredible. Like, it looks totally finished. And I was like, wait, huh?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
Tyrell, sir.
Like,
Bob, sir.
I mean, I was half tempted to give it to him right there on the spot and be like, it's yours if you want it. Right.
Yeah.
I've
But
made it for
I
you,
know I
Jason.
can do better. I know that there's some things I need to tighten up. And obviously once it's done, I'm going to get his address and mail it to him. But
Nice.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that
man,
was
that's
like
awesome.
one of those like epiphany moments where I never thought that would happen. But the ironic moments where it's like, I never thought I would be in the situation I'm in where I'm helping bring all of this tattoo knowledge that I've learned out to the masses. I never expected that.
Yeah.
No.
Dude. Yeah.
Cool. I remember in high school getting my first set of calligraphy markers, and the kids in my math class, I was not in a very good math class, so there was a lot of bullshitting going on outside of needing to learn. And they're giving me $5 to write their names on their arms to make it look like a tattoo. And I never, at that point, I had never even, that was before I got my first tattoo. I was in 11th grade or 12th grade. I had no inkling of wanting to be a tattooer or anything like that. Now I can look back at that and go, oh shit, now I'm getting paid to do that very thing, It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I was right there with you, man. I always wanted to just draw the tattoos. I didn't even really, when I was looking at it originally from a business standpoint, I was like, okay, well, there's a lot more money in drawing the designs and then selling them to multiple studios to have other people get them done. I said, I can draw one design, sell that to every studio in the country and make a fortune. Like, I don't need to do that individual tattoo on someone and make a little bit of money when I can draw one thing and
just
potentially thousands of people will get it. Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't I want to take that route as opposed to actually doing tattoos?
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to take that road, I need to get my art skills up to date. And that's why I went to school for art. And while I was in school, I tried to tie every class I had to take requirement wise into tattooing so that I could learn more about it. But I mean, I never intended on becoming a tattoo artist. It just kind of happened. I always loved them, but I didn't ever really want to do them.
Yeah. Where's everybody from?
I live in Normal, Illinois.
As opposed to not normal Illinois?
As opposed to not so normal. Yep.
I remember the first time I heard you say that, I thought you were joking.
No,
I know, right?
Like,
Normal,
I'm just
Illinois.
from Normal, Illinois. I was like, he's from
So it's not just an
inside.
adjective about the town.
No,
it's far
really
from normal.
Illinois. It's pretty normal. It's fairly normal. We had some normal cops, we got some normal firefighters, you know what I mean? It's normal tattoo
home of the
artists.
normal
Cop with
donuts.
7 arms. It's completely not normal.
It's just,
There's a city in Oregon called Boring.
That's fantastic.
There's Intercourse,
love
Pennsylvania.
Intercourse,
that?
Pennsylvania, get out of
Oh
here.
yeah. Blue
No
ball.
lie. You didn't know that?
There's Dick, Illinois, or Dixon. I'm sorry, it's not Dick, it's Dixon. But you could say it like Dixon.
Dix in Illinois.
Hey, good. Cacao.
There's a Butt Avenue. Believe it or
Butt
not.
Avenue is good.
Pennsylvania is also home to Beaver College,
Nice.
and Mount Mary University.
Mount Mary, I love it.
All right. I think I'm going to book a one-way ticket from Dixon, Illinois to Intercourse, Pennsylvania and check out Beaver University.
There you go.
Perfect, man.
Try
I
and
think
get over
some
to
would
Mount
say that
Mary,
is
too.
yeah, exactly. Some would say that's a menagerie of traveling.
I see what you did there.
Hey, all right.
Well done.
Bravo.
I'm trying.
So,
Not so
let me
normal
ask
jokes.
you a question outside of what do you guys all do to help inform the tattoo process with art that is not tattooing? I like to oil paint. I like to sculpt and do things like that. Do you guys
Here
do
we
anything
go.
like that?
Go ahead, Ricardo. Let's list all of the mediums you work in and how much you do.
All right.
I'm
I'll
not
use this
saying I'm not.
opportunity to take a bathroom break.
Yeah,
Oh, shit,
might be a
yeah,
minute
whatever.
here, Seth. He's got a list.
We all do.
I don't know. It's just what it's like whatever sparks my curiosity. You know what I mean? I do oil painting. I oil paint.
Yeah.
I've been learning to play the guitar recently.
Oh,
I
awesome,
play a
man.
little.
That's great.
Yeah, I play a little bit of piano.
Nice, man.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, Charcoal drawing, reading, hanging out with people, trying to say hello to as many strangers as I can.
You do
Yeah,
that very
man.
well.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah,
Awesome.
and other than that, yeah. How about you guys?
Well, I oil paint. I paint with liquid acrylics on paper, markers. I mean, I draw and paint with everything every chance I get. You could give me a pack of crayons and I would do something with it. In fact, actually, wax pastels, aka high quality crayons, are actually a lot of fun. It's really like working with colored pencil.
Nice.
And we all know the parallels between working with colored pencil and tattooing. So
Sure.
I also do a lot of digital art and printmaking. I do a lot of sketching, like freehand sketching. I'm trying to get back into life drawing, which is turning out to be a lot more difficult than I originally thought. But yeah, I try to work in as many different mediums as I can because every medium has its own similarities and its own differences to the tattooing process.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. Oh, go ahead.
Bruno, let's hear what you have to say.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, I was gonna say these days, because I pretty much let me just give it these days. I'm really into charcoal. Like when I have some free time, and I'm like I feel like having some fun making some art. Like that's what comes to mind. And I've been thanks to Ricardo. Ricardo actually gave me like a little class and kind of introduced me to how to use everything. And I'm really thankful for that, Ricardo. Thank you, buddy.
You're
And
welcome.
I've been painting with acrylics on my free time for years, but just recently I've been getting taking some classes as well on how to on one approach on how to use oil and to oil paint and now that's what I want to pursue. Like whenever I have a chance to paint, I'm definitely into oil painting right now. It's like so much fun to, get those creamy results. And I just really like the finish
yeah.
of an oil painting, and when I have a chance, I'm doing also practicing portrait work. Um, on a sketchbook using some like dry erase pencils, keeping it loose. And I also like to carry around a sketchbook to do some like really loose pen drawings or pen sketches.
Nice.
Just abstract.
That is cool,
Yeah,
man.
those are like my.
That's kind of
Seen
your
a lot
jam,
of
isn't it,
those.
Bruno? Like you like to sit down with a lot like the pen in the morning, and like before your clients get there, you're just kind of like doodling and seeing where it takes you, right?
Yeah. I kind of started doing that to try to connect with that love for just making art. Just to try to feel that feeling of fun, of just feeling at home when you're creating, because sometimes we can disconnect a little bit from that. And so my intention was to just be really, really loose whenever I sat to like do these pen drawings and like with no judgment and no specific direction, just have fun doodling. And then yeah, I continued. It worked, definitely worked, and it's also really helpful with just kind of as a warm up. Like before an appointment. It just kind of gets my mind flowing, uh, and yeah, it's like a little warm up. Same thing with the portraits. Like when I have a chance, even if it's just 15, 20 minutes, sit down and have fun. Make sure I'm, like not stressing in any kind of way. Just have fun with that study or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the appointment comes and I'm already warmed up, my gears are grinding.
Yeah, man.
I'm just impressed. Any of you guys have time to do artwork besides work-related work?
And we make the time.
You make the time, yeah. That time doesn't exist unless you make it happen, like, I mean, we all spend a lot of time doing, yes. I mean, it's like burning, the old adage of burning the midnight oil, right? Like, I can't tell you how many times in the past I'd sit up staring at a canvas for 2 hours before I even put a brush on it, what the hell am I doing, And then once you start going, you're like, oh my God, I should have started hours ago. Why did I wait? And, before you know it, it's 3:30 in the morning. You got an appointment the next day.
That was me last night, dude, to a T. Like literally to a T. I was up until 4:00 in the morning last night just working on a painting. I got distracted and time got away from me. And next thing you know, it's like, wait, what time is it? What time do I have to wake up so that I can do this webcast?
Yeah.
I should probably go to sleep now.
Like I said, the spot for an artist where you do the most learning is when you're working through periods of being uninspired. When you're not really that inspired, but you're still pushing yourself to do something, to create. Those are the moments that you really learn, right? Those are the moments that you're exercising that part of your brain. Because it's easy when you're in the flow state to just keep going. But it's getting yourself.
I've had a hard time recently. Kind of. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I was just saying, getting yourself into that state.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that's actually what I was going to say. Is like I feel like lately I've had a hard time kind of getting into that state recently. I don't know what the deal is. You guys ever have those moments where you just feel kind of like, you can't tap into it?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
God.
A lot
So
of the old
often.
masters would do just that. They'd stare at their projects for hours before doing anything, and it's sometimes you got to work it out mentally prior. You know what I mean? Think about make a sports analogy, but like a pitcher, right? Like those guys tend to get in their own heads a lot, or a goalie for hockey. They'll spend a lot of time just meditating and just thinking, right?
Yeah,
it's that mind game, man. It's an important part of everything. Tattooing, living, everything. And I think that I wanted to share because I totally agree with what you just said, because I kind of realized that very clearly recently when I was working on a charcoal piece, and I was just stuck, man. I was stuck and I really was having a hard time and couldn't find a way out, and I was about to give up. I was about to say, you know what, let me just go back to the basics, let me do some, I need some work or whatever. But for whatever reason, I decided to just push it, and try to figure it out. And actually, the key ingredient was that I started to have a little bit of trust in myself and what I can do. I kind of forgot to do that. And thankfully, I persisted, because then, it finally happened. I figured something out, and I started to see something that I liked. And it happened to me again, like a couple of days later. Starting to feel stuck again, starting to question myself, man, what's wrong with me? Like, damn. But, I got through that, my mind was trying to fuck with me, and I got through it. And it took a while, but when I finally got through it, it was like I was a different person, and I found myself to a place where I could like get it done. And so that pushing through that you were talking about, I think it's really important. It's taking that first step to find that second step. But sometimes that first step is a long one.
Yeah, man. There's a book. Is it the boy, the horse, the fox, and I forget the last part of that. It's another animal, but the part of the story where the boy's in the middle of the forest and he's lost, and he's with his horse, And he's like, I can't ride us out of here. I can't see where I'm going. And the horse says to him, can you see your next step? It's like, yeah. Like, just
Okay,
take
you were
that.
taking that story in a totally different direction. I was thinking of something very different and very inappropriate. Something about like a boy, a horse, and a fox that I was
man,
just
I forgot
like,
I'm talking to a bunch of tattooers. My bad.
It's the mole.
I'm surprised
boy, the
Medusa
mole.
The
didn't
mole.
chime
Yeah,
in
there
there.
it is. Yeah, you know.
Did I feel at home now. I was like, what do you mean I'm inappropriate? You're inappropriate.
I'm always
Right?
inappropriate, but people expect that.
This whole Zoom meeting's inappropriate.
I know, right?
You know what it is,
Yeah,
Ricardo,
that's
man, you're putting folds in the brain, right? Like during those moments. That's when you do your best learning, you know?
Mhm.
It's never always just like easy to sit down and go with something. And the other side of that for people that, you know, you guys that do the painting and stuff where you're laying down, you got to build things up in layers, right? You got to trust yourself that
Oh yeah, definitely.
this isn't what it's going to look like when it's finished. You know what I mean? Like, God, his nose looks so weird right now. Just keep going.
Right.
Just keep
You know,
pushing.
That happens a lot with
it's so
color
funny
work, man, and tattooing.
Oh yeah, dude, big time.
It doesn't really come together until you start putting highlights on, and you could lose confidence along the way. You're like, oh man, it's not looking like I thought it would. But you just kind of learn to like remember, that it's gonna come together, and you just have to keep trusting yourself. You know that you got.
So Ricardo, you always ask for updates on my oil paintings. So this is
I love seeing them.
So I started to really get into the detail.
There you go.
You know, I've got a few more cracks and like one more glaze layer to go.
Nice.
You know, I need to start adding a bit more crispy detail down to the bottom mandible, but
can you
that
pull
upper
it back
mandible
a little bit?
really jumps right out, man. That's really nice. Good job.
Can you highlight your picture?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Let's do this. We'll spotlight.
There we go.
There. That's a good layout, man. I like the angle.
Yeah, well, I never try to paint anything straight on. There's always some type of an angle.
Yeah.
Even if that means I have to crop an image. Like, as much as I totally agree that in certain areas of the body, symmetrical designs do tend to look and get placed a little bit easier and a little bit better. I'm always looking for that challenge where it's like, how can I take a symmetrical area and make it asymmetrical?
Yeah.
Right. So I always adjust things. Yeah, I've got like one or two more glazes to do on that one. This one's pretty much done. I still have a little bit of cleanup to do, but I started to work on a little peony flower.
Yeah, that looks great. Super vibrant.
Yeah, and it's a shame the camera doesn't really do it justice, but.
Are you gonna bring any vignette into it, like an outside blend? We're just gonna have it, or like kind of like do a negative vignette where it kind of like softens up towards the edges, maybe.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of that going on, but I need to do another glaze on the background to really kind of push those richer, deeper blues.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. So like that focal point being the bulbous area of the flower, the inside of the flower, and those darker blues there. I think if you were to start kind of like doing some blurred things with some of those petals down towards the bottom and the outside left and right of it, dude, it would really just jump that piece right out, especially those leaves and stuff down there at the bottom too, man. Like an in focus, out of focus kind of thing. That would be killer because that thing is already jumping right out at you.
Yeah, let me grab my Gaussian blur tool.
Yeah, exactly. But seriously though, I think if you did that and just glazed it a little bit more with that blurring effect and those same tones, it would like really just, dude, that thing would be. Oh man, that's a nice piece, dude. The skull is fucking great too.
I've only got 2 glazes done on the next skull painting that I'm working on. So that's still very, very rough. It's also quite a bit bigger. Let me see if I can grab that real quick.
Okay.
No, stay. Good.
I'll have you guys take a look at this sketch that I have real fast in a little bit too.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's 2 glazes in, so I still have a lot more work to do.
You blocked it all in though, didn't you? Look at that.
Blocked in all the super darks. It's a bit of a different type of panel. It's a bit of a smoother panel, but it's coming together.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Is that a TV or is that somebody talking?
Oh, you know what? I think that's sorry about that, guys. I'm at the studio right now.
Well, that's
That's
okay.
The TV's playing in the background there.
I was
You
just
mean
so,
you're
like,
not
is that
tattooing
somebody
out of a
that's messing with
van?
Where are you going with
it?
that? Come on, me, Nathan.
They're watching Bob's Burgers.
I love that, dude. I guess there's a movie coming out. I went and saw Batman the other night, and I just saw the trailer for the Bob's Burgers movie. I was like, this is gonna be great.
Oh my God, I heard
Batman
about
is
that.
good.
So guys, we do have a few comments I'd like to mention real quick. We've got Bearskin Tats from earlier in the conversation said, love this topic. I run into this a lot, and it's hard to determine where to set the boundaries without being rude, but still being firm. And even right now with what Medusa is saying, when you were commenting on that client that was trying to talk you down in price. And they said they even put a video on YouTube, things not to say to your tattoo artist, which didn't go over too well, apparently. And then we have Gabe Ripley commented, Seth, with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
And then he said, that's the difference between a professional and an amateur, between working when you want and working when you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree with that completely.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me show this.
Yeah, I find it like too, like taking like what you're doing right now, Jason, like going out of your way to push the education platform to other people, and what Guy's done with the website, like just being able to when you share information, you don't close yourself off from learning. You know, these guys that like shut themselves, guys and women that will shut themselves in a room and do just their thing, and it's what they know, and they might be very proficient at it, but you know, when you're not open to learning new things or sharing the knowledge that you have with other people, you're not allowing yourself to learn and get better. You know?
I agree. That's actually one of the ways that I overcome a lot of the difficulties that a lot of artists come across when it comes down to staying inspired and whatnot. I always sit back and I ask myself, okay, what do I need to work on? What do I need to improve upon so that I can be better as an artist? And maybe it's something someone will bring up in one of these sessions, or something someone will ask me about, like, hey, how do you draw a hand? Or, hey, how do you draw your snakes? It's like, okay, let's explore that. Right. And then that'll get into something where it's like, okay, now I have a project to work on, because I need to show them how I'm painting my snakes on watercolor paper using a brush. So like it helps inspire when you're part of a community, so that you don't really hit those kinds of like slumps. That's why I try to stay as active when doing these podcasts and as active in the community as I possibly can, because that's truly what helps me stay inspired.
Oh yeah, man. The rising tide.
Ebb and flow. I'm gonna finish up this hand on this piece real quick and let you guys take a look, see if you have any ideas. It's gonna be like this fairy piece, and they changed up the idea and what they want to see in it. Well, actually, they left it up to me. I drew it, and then they sent me some more reference stuff that they wanted to kind of influence the piece. So
when are you doing
it?
it?
Go with my own stuff. It's in a week and a half.
Nice.
So yeah, they're coming down from out of state, so that kind of changes up. It adds a little bit more pressure and a little bit more involvement, you know, with the client.
Sure.
Where normally I would just draw it up and be like, okay, and then when they come in, we kind of change some things up, either the day of the tattoo or like a day or two beforehand. But and a lot of times I draw the tattoo, like the changes on them, you know. So, but they were kind of wanting to see a little bit more finished product. But
is that the clients coming down from Massachusetts?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That's where I am right now.
Nice, dude.
Let me see if I've been working in Concord today.
Concord?
Concord?
Conquered. Okay, there you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me see. Hang on. I'm using some reference from. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Actually, let me just turn this around
Oh,
so I can
nice,
see it
dude.
too.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me
Here,
flip
I'll
it.
spotlight you.
Okay.
Spotlight. There we go. Oh, very nice.
That's awesome. So I was thinking about like woodland creatures, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm thinking about a lion nest kind of head here, but that doesn't make sense with the fairy tale kind of things. I'm thinking about doing this being the majority of the arm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having some other little like fairyland creature with some mushrooms and things like that kind of coming up from behind the back, maybe making the hair a little bit more wild. But I guess my question is, should the hair match the flow of this decorative stuff that's going to come over her shoulders and around her bosom and stuff like that too?
I really like the
It's a
way that
really
you have
full color.
you play on the positive negative shape with the antler going behind her head on one side and
Yeah,
coming out on the other. That's pretty rad.
So I could
So
see
it could
almost a billowing effect coming out from behind the right side of the character. I think if you brought that out, yeah. So if you brought that out and came down right about where her shoulder would be and billowed it out a little bit to give it a nice arc, I think that would help bring your eye back around and lead your eye back up towards the face.
Okay.
You know, because you're creating that directional line with the hand down at the bottom, pointing up into the character's right. You know, so you want to continue that flow around following that direction.
And I thought about adding a little kind of, I don't know, some kind of little creature on like off coming and being incorporated with the hand somehow, you know what I mean? But
Chipmunk.
I don't know what I would. A chipmunk?
Chipmunk. Yeah. I mean, if we're
Something
going
with
for North
wings.
American wildlife, chipmunks are everywhere. So,
Yeah, chipmunk
or like a
would be
bird,
cool.
that could work.
Put a couple of small
Bird would be
honeybees
fun.
in there somewhere, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. The honeybees might work out pretty well.
That way it's not overpowering, you know.
Like I thought about a little fairy kind of playing a flute or something like that. Or smoking a flute.
Smoking a hookah.
Yeah. Very joint like. Okay, cool. Right on. Those are some good ideas. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see it.
I could actually use a little bit of advice as well if you guys have a minute.
Let's see what you got.
I'm coming up with some thumbnails, just loose, rough concepts for a full torso that I have coming in.
Unpin me. Thank you.
So I was playing around with, once again, these are like super rough little thumbnail concepts, like couple of flowers down by the hip areas. All of these shaded out areas with all the quick little scribbles, that's where existing tattoos are. So I kind of have to work around those, but she's got most of her upper torso completely open. So I was thinking about maybe doing something like this for the first one, you know, maybe bringing part of a snake down this way, or maybe even having it come out from underneath the skull there, and like maybe wrapping up a little bit so that way it shows like continuous flow. Maybe disappearing back here behind the upper jaw. Yeah, so that's like first concept with like a couple of mums up here, here, and here. Maybe even one here, like right at the bottom of the sternum. But I thought that might be a little too static of an image with just like a forward-facing skull. And she really loves snakes and mums. So I mean that's like right up my alley, and she loves neo-trad Japanese stuff. She loves new school. We just got done doing a tiger and a snake with some peonies on her lower right leg. So I was like, okay, well, she likes mums, she likes snakes. maybe I could do like a snake with some water and a couple of mums here, you know, kind of flowing down her abdomen.
I like the one in the middle. And if it was me, I'd almost make that head shooting straight up.
You think?
Even if it, yeah, dude, honestly, man, like going straight up to the throat, I think that would be awesome. Like
so more or less taking this, more or less taking this and just going straight up.
Not from there. Like you want to curve from, yeah, you could make that body part come up a little bit so it would curve from behind the back of the snake. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So
exactly. Like here,
and then have the, yes, and then have that head pointing straight up almost. Yes, exactly. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you got her.
Keep that curve.
The way that snake moves over the abdomen is great. That in and out, kind of like that.
Yep.
That fold right where her diaphragm is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then you can have some. I think, dude. Honestly, Jason, I think if you did just the snake and only a few, like maybe 2 or 3 of the peonies, and then have the leaves and stuff like that, kind of not necessarily really close to the snake body, but you know, like some stems coming from behind the snake body, and then you can see the leaves and stuff. That would be fucking killer, man. Killer. Like almost to where you still see a little bit of skin, and if you filled it in, it would be super soft shades. Shades. That way the line work alone will make it just a finished, complete, total sternum or total front body, like line drawing tattoo, where it's complete all on its own. That'd be killer, man.
Yeah, the next idea I had was like a big ass bat. Right.
That would be awesome too.
You know, just a huge ass bat flying, like covering most of her sternum, detailing the hell out of it. A lot of dark black work, but she doesn't have a lot of dark black work as it stands now. So I was I think I might stay away from that concept. Another one's a Japanese dragon with some water.
Dragons just kind are always awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, especially like full torso pieces. Fuck yeah. And then I've got something a little bit more ornamental, maybe like a lantern at the top. I was playing around with like some ornamental concepts for like the stomach area, or maybe even having like a snake on the stomach area. I think that could be cool. But you know, I think what I'm really concerned about is the belly button area, just because she does have a piercing there. So it's like, okay, how can I want to try to see if there's some way I can almost incorporate that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see. Let me take a look at it again. Hang on. All right, let's see what you got. Which one are we talking about?
This last one, this like ornamental one.
I think it's pretty cool. Honestly, like, man, it might sound lame, but I like it. The idea of having that, but having it upside down almost, even where the lantern was shooting down.
Oh yeah, the lantern was hanging upside down.
Yes, totally.
On her abdomen.
Yeah, exactly. And then have the flames and stuff like that shooting up, and then have that decoration and stuff like that there still too. Yeah, just turn it upside down, dude. Yep, and move it down.
Yeah, look at that.
A little bit lower. Just a little bit lower though. Keep going.
Like all the way down?
Not all the way. Just like keep going up. Right about there, right in the center. Yep. I did like it where it was like up between the cleavage and stuff like that too, though. Like right on the sternum. But I think once you start adding some of those other elements and stuff like that, that's gonna help out quite a bit right there. Like that triangle from the outside of the hips. Yes, exactly. And then like be ornate around the bottom of the breast and stuff like that, and then come up over the breast and stuff like that too, up and around it. And those traditional Japanese flames.
The only reason why I'm gonna stay away from like ornamental stuff is because I'm pretty sure that's not what she's into. My initial concept for the lantern idea was to have this kind of tucked up here a little bit more, right? And maybe have on top of that, where is that? Maybe even taking like,
that would be awesome. The snake, yes, dude. Man, do that.
Combining the ideas.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, dude. And if it goes on the leg like that, that'd be fucking even better. That's cool.
You know what, dude? If you have the snake, like Ricardo was saying, put the head right up, like on her sternum, facing up, and have the tongue mimic a flame.
Yeah, dude, totally.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, either
So
the head is straight up,
repeating
like a bird's
design.
eye view.
Yeah.
Or you do the mouth like super open, and have that flame just like kind of like dancing straight out of the mouth.
Yeah.
Like where it's gonna
go right up,
because they have that very vivid. Yeah, exactly. Real wide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Have the head open. I like that idea, Jason. I like the snakes. I think are the best one, and I think if you had it around the lantern, that'd be even cooler too. That one's a little much, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I needed this today for sure.
Something like that. That could work well.
Yeah. To be honest, I like the first one that you had. That very first one you laid out.
And of course, I hit undo, so it's not like I can bring that back. But
that's pretty close. I mean, you're getting closer.
Yeah.
I think you need a little bit more length. Like, yeah, there you go. Like unfurled at first. Yep. Yeah, there you go, dude.
Maybe even make that a little bit bigger. Stretch it out a tiny bit.
You guys want to see something cool that one of my clients gave me a while back?
100%.
I was tattooing her pretty consistently for a while, and we kept talking more and more, and we started talking about Futurama one time. So she knits, and she was literally knitted all these characters for me. I don't know if you can see them. Let me see.
Spotlight you. Hold on. Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's huge. It's gigantic.
Like, yeah, look at that.
This guy, Farnsworth is giant, man. Farnsworth. She got me all of them, dude. The Nibbler is gigantic too.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You have a dog, just put that on the floor and watch them freak out over it.
Dude, I would not put this around a dog because that took a lot of hours and stuff, man.
And then, no, I meant like just show it to him, see if it scares him.
Yeah.
With those eyes, my dog would run the other way.
Oh,
they're beautiful, man. They're absolutely beautiful.
Zoidberg. I know it's all handmade, dude. And then let's see, I got Leela and Fry here too. Great. And then Bender. Bender's one of my favorites. He's got a little beer bottle and a cigar and everything too. It's looking great.
Oh wow. Remember me?
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, that is so cute. Does she do this professionally? Like, is this a craft thing? Does she sell stuff?
I've tried to convince her to make these things and then sell them, but she's like, no, I just want to do them for fun, man. I'll send you guys her information and see.
Yeah, those are killer.
Reach out to her.
I will pay her to make a bomber knit.
Yeah, dude.
Plushie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think she would totally be into that. Like, I think that she would just shit herself to do a dog like that. No joke. But yeah, I figured that I wanted to share that with you guys.
The whole set, man. That's beautiful.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. She flew out. She used to live here. She moved out to Vegas, and then she flew out here one time for me to tattoo her. And she's like, I was sitting there in the plane, like fervently making. I think it was Zoidberg. She was trying to finish up Zoidberg, and people were like, "What is that?" You know what I mean? So she had to explain Futurama to them and everything, and it's just people had never even heard of it before. It was fucking hilarious, man.
That's funny. I can't imagine trying to explain that show to somebody that's never even seen it.
I didn't know that there are people that didn't know what Futurama was.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Futurama rules. I'm actually watching it on Hulu right now.
Dude, nice. 100%. I will always back up Futurama over Simpsons. Yes, Simpsons is a classic, but Futurama is where like the Easter eggs and Matt Groening's nerdiness comes out. It's like that's where he puts his heart and soul. Like I can watch that series over and over and over again and still see some like new thing in the background that he like put one of his like a little homage to his favorite author by putting like a series of their books on the bookshelf in the background, and just cute, cool stuff like that. And it's got heart. It's got so much heart. Like that show makes me cry.
Yeah, dude. The last episode. So the only reason I brought this up is because last night I hung out with a couple of friends of mine that I hadn't seen for a long time. And this is how old I am. I'm like literally sitting around with my friends in the garage, and I started falling asleep on the chair. Right? They're not that boring.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, dude, it was such a nice day yesterday, and we haven't had very many nice days here at all. You know what I mean? So I'm just like sitting in the garage, it's like the breeze is blowing it. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking great. But anyways, one of my buddies told me that I think Hulu bought the rights to Futurama. I think they're gonna make like 2 or 3 more seasons. So I'm pretty pumped. Yeah, pretty pumped about it.
I mean, will it hold up to the classics that we all love?
I think so. Comedy Central came out, and after the 3 movies that they made, Comedy Central had, what was it, 4 more seasons made? So that's why there's 10 seasons now or something like that.
Yeah, they turned the 3 movies they made into season 7, right?
Yeah, so it's actually season 6 and season 7 and season 8. Oh wait, let me double check. I'm on it right now. Let me double check that before I start spitting out nonsense.
Because I know they broke it down into 3-part episode series and made
you're right.
all those movies into an entire season.
Yeah, which is season 6. You're right. And then they made season 7. So season 7, season 8, 9, and 10 were all through Comedy Central. And the last 4 seasons are fantastic, dude. Like at first I wasn't too sure about them, but they really like bought into and like dug into like who the characters are and stuff. You know what I mean? So
so I didn't know that a different it was made by a different TV channel thing, but that is really cool because it did hold up. It stayed true to the whole core of the series. I think one of my very favorite episodes. Now we don't talk about Jurassic Park. We don't talk about that.
No, that's no. Yeah,
no,
don't do it.
Off the table. We don't talk about that. But
the movie with Jeff Goldblum.
No, Jurassic Park is an episode of Futurama that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misheard you.
But the one where he's trying to reorganize the stars in time for Leela to see them. But there's like time lapses, so he can't remember what happened. Wasn't that like one of the last episodes before it was originally canceled?
So it was the last episode, and I think he got stuck in a time loop where he was falling from a building, and he was going to try to propose to her or something like that, and it ended up not happening. I think it's called Meanwhile, is what it's called. Yeah. So it's a really radical one. That one did make me cry a little bit. Not gonna lie. So like, god damn it, it's over.
Yeah, I can think of maybe 2 or 3 Simpsons episodes that made me go, "Oh, that's so sweet." But but like every Futurama episode has some of that.
Absolutely. It's a good show. I highly recommend it if you have the means.
I'll be honest with you, I feel kind of out of the loop on this discussion because like I don't really have too much time to watch like stuff like that. I mean,
okay, well then do yourself a favor.
Get on Hulu. Like I listened to the entire series of Game of Thrones in like a week. I didn't really watch any of it.
How did you do that? There's like,
but all because it's on in the background. So like, I'll put that on as white noise in the background while I'm like drawing or painting or whatever.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I never got into it.
Futurama came out like over a decade ago. So like if you didn't get into it then or haven't since, then you probably just aren't gonna.
I love those shows though that like, and Futurama is one of them, but there's a couple of shows out there that are animated or otherwise that you can put on in the background and it's just like jazz, right? Like I could have Arrested Development playing all day long while I'm working, and it's just Office. Like there you go, Parks and Rec. Like,
you know what?
Those things that just
dude, I think we were just talking. Okay, let's ask you guys this: Parks and Rec or The Office? Which one's better?
Parks and Rec.
I agree.
I like Parks, and I think
You
it's
know
a little
what?
different.
I
I
agree.
think that it's just because it's not the humor for me. The humor's not quite as dry. Like you have to be a little more invested in The Office. But The Office has some of the best highlights, right? Like you don't even really need to know the show to watch a compilation of Jim vs. Dwight and still think it's funny. You know?
Or just
Yeah,
Creed snippets.
Creed, yeah, exactly, right? But like
Meredith is my spirit animal.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome. I
my
feel that way
opinion,
about David Rose. David Rose is my spirit animal. Him and Ron Swanson. If I could combine those two characters.
Yeah, so I think so. I used to be of the opinion that Parks and Rec was just hands down way better than The Office. And so but it's changed. I like them both equally. See, The Office is great. You can take snippets out of it and it's hilarious. And you don't like, there doesn't have to be so much context. But with Parks and Rec, you grow with the characters.
Agree. Yeah, for sure.
So I think there's like kind of a difference. There's a lot more character development, I feel like, and you like kind of latch on to these people more in Parks and Rec. But The Office has like, you can watch that whole series 14 times over and still find new jokes in it that you didn't like catch before. There's layers and layers of so many jokes. So The Office is really funny, but I think Parks and Rec is more personable.
I think Parks and Rec really
what
started
she said.
Yeah, I think they started to take off more when Adam Scott and Rob Lowe joined the cast. That's I think when it really started to take a turn. I
agree, man. Those two guys, Adam Scott it's fantastic for that.
Oh my God,
show.
that Letters to Cleo shirt and is unbelievable, right? The Cones of Dunshire.
The Cones of Dunshire, dude. Man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
When he made that claymation video, he's like, this was 2 weeks of my life.
And in the place where you, and then it just stops.
Dude, his constant job offer, that those people that really, really want him to work for them, and he keeps taking the job, and then 5 minutes later, being like, "Sorry guys, I can't
do it." Those poor guys.
Yeah, and even the accounting jokes are great too.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I mean, they're the dad jokes like to the nth degree.
Oh my God, dude, it's fucking fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Parks and Rec hands down because we just had this conversation last night, and I was like, dude, Parks and Rec, what are you talking about, man? Yeah. Except for I don't really watch the first season of it.
No, man,
get that one.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the first season of Office first season 2 was kind of slow and hard to get through too.
Yeah. I think it was in the first season had one of the best cold opens of the show in the whole series of the show. And one of my favorites is when Ron Swanson walks into Leslie Knope's office and he says, "Okay, here's a situation," and she just breaks into the whole "Parents Just Don't Understand" song, and she sings the whole damn thing.
Yeah, dude,
and
I do remember that.
And at the very end, she gets back and she's like, "Word." And she sits down in her chair. She's like, "Okay, so what's up?" He's like, "Somebody's on fire in Kelp Park. They need you to get over there or rent some park." She's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, man, that's pretty fucking good, dude.
I mean, I want to see. I wonder if there's probably a YouTube compilation somewhere of every time somebody fell into the pit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness.
Andy,
and that's
are
not
you
just a
in the
little
pit?
tumble. They really fell into that pit a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's really good.
Yeah, there's stuff like
Jason.
Okay, so when you guys are tattooing, do you prefer music or TV or movies, or does it matter? Like, I know long sittings. I know my clients sometimes will really like a movie on because it helps. But not all the shops that I work at have that opportunity. You know?
Distraction is always going to be helpful for a client, always. And in a way, also for me, I mean, I enjoy music. It kind of gets me in the mood, you know, like depending on what I'm listening to, it gets me going, it gets me hyped up. But at the same time, like watching a movie or having a movie in the background or something like that, it's first of all, it's definitely very helpful for the client because it kind of keeps their mind distracted with something at least a portion of the time. And for me, especially if it's a movie that I've seen, I like to have a movie on that I've seen in the background because it kind of distracts me in a way that like it just kind of it's like it doesn't really distract me, but it kind of keeps I don't know, it just it's helpful for me as well, and it doesn't
I
make
feel
me lose any kind of concentration or anything. So,
it's like,
but I
yeah,
think that it comes down to what the client, right, it feels more comfortable with because I usually kind of go for what the client what's gonna help the client, you know, go for longer. You know, like if a movie is gonna
absolutely.
kind of mess with their nerves or something like that, then it's better to put some lo-fi, some chill music, and take it
Yeah,
from there, right?
I
absolutely, man.
think I would love to have like a private space where I could put up a TV screen and play a movie. I've been tattooed by someone that had like their like walls in a separate little private station, and they had a TV in their room, and I watched a movie while I got tattooed, and it was awesome. It was when I was getting my Robin Williams portrait done, so we put on a Robin Williams movie, and we had a
Nice.
great time.
Which one was it?
But huh?
Was it What Dreams May Come? Was it What Dreams May Come, or what was it?
Great
Ash?
movie.
No, it wasn't that one. It was actually one that I hadn't seen before, and I don't remember the name of it, and I don't remember a whole lot because I was not having a great time during the tattoo. It hurt, and I I'm a little wimp when it comes to getting tattooed. I really am. And I'm sorry to everybody that's ever tattooed me. But it was the one where there was some royalty had their head cut off or something, and it was floating around. And
Oh, that's
there
a
was
good
like
one. What is the name of that one?
there's like a little tiny man.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe
what is the name of that movie? Let's see. Let's
I
look it
don't
up.
remember.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
that sounds cool and strange.
Yeah, it was. I remember it being really, really weird, but I couldn't pay too much
It's a good
attention because
movie.
I was busy complaining about how much the tattoo hurt. But in my studio, we're all like, it's all open space.
Sure.
So there's nowhere to put a TV because we don't have like walls or places like that.
Medusa,
We all listen to music. What?
you have an iPad, right?
Yeah.
Why not just stream? Why not just get an iPad stand, hook it up to your light, and then have them watch whatever they want on the iPad?
Oh, well, what I was saying is that we're all open space and we always have loud music playing. So
for $60 on Amazon, you can get a pair of these active noise canceling headphones. This was the best $60 investment on Amazon I have ever made.
Wow, $60. That's a good deal.
The battery will last you about 2 consecutive days in a row on one charge. And it's active noise canceling. So like all the white I bring these with me to shows, to like conventions and whatnot, where there's a lot going on around me and I really need to focus. So I'll just sit down and I'll put one ear on to kind of block out most of the sound, but I'll always have my ear open towards like the front of the booth so that way I can hear if anyone asks me questions. These things I give to my clients whenever I give them my iPad to watch a movie on, and it Bluetooth syncs. They can block out all the background noise, watch whatever they want to watch without any kind of distractions. And that also frees you up to be solely focused on what's going on, like as far as the tattoo is concerned, because they're tuned into the movie and their hearing is isolated. So they know that they can't really ask you a question because they're not going to hear the response. So it allows them to get totally into the movie. You can get totally into the tattoo. And boom, Bob's your uncle.
I love it.
Bob's your uncle. Okay, it's called The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
1988. It's one of the best movies that he was in. I love that movie. I tried to get somebody to watch that movie one time and they were mad at me for it. I was like, what? Why?
Oh, that is like one of those kind of under the radar classics, man.
I would like to watch that movie while I'm not getting tattooed.
That's a good idea.
Hey, at least it wasn't one of the weird ones like Toys, right? Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That movie is very odd. So what are your thoughts on that? Like with people, with artists, plugging in their earphones or putting in their little earbuds and just kind of, I get zoning out and needing to focus, but I feel like, there's a really important element of connecting with your client. Like I'm working on my client, Chris, now. He's a great dude. And he's there watching TV, but he's listening to us talk and everything too. And just having the client be part of that experience and being part of the experience with them, as opposed to just, I guess a convention's a little bit of a different story, but yeah, I've been in shops where people, put their earbuds on and get to work. And it's like, I feel like you're kind of telling the client in a matter of speaking. I feel like that, you're isolating yourself from their experience. And, that's part of what they're paying for, man. It's like the conversation or the banter or, it's not just a good tattoo, right?
You're depersonalizing it. That's
I guess
the technical psychological term. You're depersonalizing a very
sure.
personal experience.
Yeah,
and that's not
agree.
good.
Yeah. I mean, I get it,
but it's... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with you guys, but at the same time, like sometimes I've done it a couple times, and the couple times that I've done it is when I was working on a portrait or something like that. I wanted to invest my full attention into it. You know what I mean? And I explained to the client beforehand. I even let them have the option of doing kind of what Jason did, where the TV has the Bluetooth capability. So I just let them sign into Netflix and stuff or whatever it is they're usually watching, and then they plugged in the Bluetooth headphones and they watched whatever they wanted to while I was doing it. But the conversation beforehand was known that that's what I want to do. Like, I'm trying to focus on my own thing, so I can try to give you the best product that I can. You know what I mean? The best tattoo that I can.
When in doubt, give your client the option.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just give them the option. And I think exactly, Bruno. Exactly.
Concentration.
And like, yeah, dude, exactly, man. And you want to focus on those things, you know what I mean? But yeah, there are. And sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the client will ask me something, I'll start to answer, and then there's a long pause because I'm like focused on what I'm doing, and then I'm like, wait, what were we talking about? I have no idea what you just said.
I can appreciate that for sure. Yeah.
I think it also comes down to the client. There are some clients that I tattoo that are like, nah, I'm going to pop my headphones in and like put myself somewhere else.
Oh,
and it's like, all right, cool. Well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to put mine in and we'll have a dandy time.
Yeah.
I
had a client the other day at the convention that read a book while I was tattooing them. And
I've had that.
I have no idea. How do clients do that, dude? I have no idea.
No, I could not sit and read a book, man. There's no way.
No, me neither. No, me neither.
I watch tattoo tutorial videos sometimes while I'm getting worked on. Like I've got a couple from Tony who did like a whole dragon masterclass where he covers how he draws all of his dragons.
That dude rules,
and each video is like 2 or 3 hours long. Wow. So like he does one just on scales, right? And he spends a solid like 45 minutes to an hour just talking about how he lays out his scales, the important things to remember when drawing scales, how to shade the scales, how to get scales to blend and turn with every twist of the body, right? So I'll put that on. I'll put on like one that deals with the dragon's face and how he constructs a dragon's face and how he texturizes the horns, right? To really get that nice like wood grain, but still organic kind of lumpy look to it. And little tricks like rounding off the tips of the horns to show age, right? When you do something like that, it's going to show that, that dragon is a bit older because those horns aren't quite as pointy, so it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Those out.
Well, so here's the problem with that. Those videos were supplied by a website called Tattoo Masterclass, right? Or Ink Workshops. Sorry, Ink Workshops. Ink Workshops is no longer a thing. Okay, the website got taken down. They sent out a big email to everyone saying, hey, listen, guys, thank you for your support. Please click here to download all the videos that you've purchased over the time because as of such and such a date, this website will no longer be up and running.
Okay.
Cool. I get it. Not a problem. So I have all the videos downloaded already, but you can't really find them online. They were all really expensive too. But I mean, you got great value for your money. But they did one on dragons. They did one on koi. They did one on Hanya, but that one was never actually released. But I have a copy of it because I won like a raffle on Instagram. So like I got access to it and then downloaded it through different types of black market means. So like I have all of them physically on my hard drive, but like there's nowhere you can go to find them anymore because the website's down. So it gets into a gray area there. But I've done that. I usually, when I get tattooed, if it's going to be an extensive tattoo or if it's on a sensitive area, I throw in Bluetooth headphones. I cover my eye. I go into sensory deprivation mode, typically speaking, where I put myself on a beach in Cancun, drinking margaritas with my feet in the sand, enjoying the warm breeze on me. Like and I start to control my breathing, really get into a meditative state. Right.
So when you got through the guy?
No, that was a combination of Advil and Bactine.
Yeah. And also wanting to learn, right? Like just sitting there watching. I mean,
absolutely.
The adrenaline.
You get tattooed in a spot where you can watch the guy go or girl and see the process, man. That can be a career changing moment.
Absolutely. That's what I did with the inside of my arm when I got it done by Clint Danroth in London. I sat down and I was watching every tiny little move that man made. And I asked him every question I could think of, because I was always taught the best way to learn how to tattoo, like these upper level artists, is to go and get tattooed by them.
Yeah, 100%.
You have their dedicated time and attention. Ask them every question you can think of. Why do you use that brand of black? Why are you using that size liner? Why are you using this type of a mag as opposed to a different type? Do you prefer a specific brand of mag and why? Why are you using this pigment company over this pigment company?
And you're distracting yourself with the conversation too at the same time. So that's a very effective method to get through a tattoo. Just an interesting conversation, you know. And that's the other advantage, right, of not putting your headphones on. But you can actually provide that to the client, and they won't feel the pain while you're chatting. You know?
Yeah, man.
So we did have Gabe just made a comment on the YouTube. He said, when tattooers disconnect from their clients, they miss a tremendous amount of opportunity experience and a large part of what a tattoo experience is about. And that I couldn't agree more. You know, that's why I usually leave it up to the client. So, you know, it's all up to their decision. If they want to disconnect, fine. That's cool. Not a problem. If they want to engage in conversation and have that kind of an elevated experience, great. But it depends on their mindset. If they're looking at it as an entire experience, then I'm going to give them an experience. If they're looking at me as someone that can provide something to them and they just want that end result, then that's a completely different type of thought mindset. And that's when it's like, okay, cool. You're putting your headphones in to zone out. Awesome. I'm going to do the same.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic because I mean, you know, I can absolutely see Bruno and Ricardo's point of view on it too, you know, with the particular type of work, needing to focus or wanting that kind of mental dedication to the moment.
Right.
You know, I totally see both sides of that, man.
Yeah, there's always different perspectives on different things. I'll do that and I'll inform the client that like, hey, listen, I'm going to be zoning out, like to really focus on this tattoo for a while, just because it's going to be an extreme challenge for me. Like anytime I have to do anything realistic, which is not my usual platform, I usually go for more graphic style tattoos. Mm-hmm. You know, stuff that's more graphic design oriented or illustration based, you know, where I already have that process down. But if I have to work on something that's extremely detailed and extremely realistic, I need to be in that zone.
Yeah.
I'll let them know that this is going to be an extreme challenge for me. So I really need to focus on this. Otherwise, it's like, so what's been new with you? How's life been? Been anywhere cool lately? What do you do for a living? How's that going for you?
Yeah.
I've tuned out. Well, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I've tuned out and like put headphones on myself while tattooing, but I have only ever done that with like a regular client that I spoke to in advance, being like, hey man, I'm gonna be tuning out today. And usually they're just like, yeah, me too. And all of that. So I do think that talking to the client is important if you really need to do that. But I agree with Gabe though. Like I'm engaging with the client the entire time.
So one of the reasons that I've found that I actually sometimes prefer to zone out is because I found that I work almost twice as fast when I'm not engaging in conversation.
Yeah. For example, I don't necessarily, I don't think I ever really tune out with my headphones on because I kind of got used to it already over time.
Right.
But I did want to say, that I believe that there are times, like for example, you just said, right, where you just want to have that extreme focus. It might be a good idea to do it for some people, maybe not for everybody, but maybe for some people, like, man, it's what's going to be the difference between how that's going to come out, because their level of concentration, it's going to.
Now, I would like to clarify, by the way, when I say I'm going to zone out and like really focus into this, I will only ever put in one earphone, ever.
Yeah.
I am always having that option for people to talk to me, to engage with me, like to ask me questions about things. So I can always hear them if they ask me a question and engage with me. I won't ever put in both headphones, ever. To me, that's just, it's completely and totally cutting off the client.
Side note, real quick, Bruno.
Everything. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I just want to say, I just took a quick peek at what you're working on. That flower in the middle, that luminosity is just spectacular.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bruno's a beast, man. Hold on, Bruno, I'm going to spotlight you.
Yeah, it's all right.
Man. Yeah, I'm waiting until the end to put the white in the middle here. And
what did you use on the outside edge of those petals there? Is that a green that you like, a moss green that you're fading in that yellow, or is that?
Yeah, I actually used like it's actually a dark sepia.
Okay.
And I used mixing it with a dark ochre from
oh yeah, man,
raw. And then as I got to like these green lights, I started to mix this teal that I have with both the dark ochre and the dark sepia, and I just kind of created that transition, kind of from a greenish brown to that yellow over here, but not so much over here because it was warmer. Just kind of playing around with that.
It looks really good, man.
Saturated, man.
Killer.
How much time do you have into that piece?
I'm not sure because it goes all the way around. Excuse me, guys. So yeah, it goes all the way around. Like for example, this one was one session, just this one. It was like 6 hours, and then we did these. Let me see, Shelby. Can you turn your leg for a second? Thanks, Shelby. Yeah, she was taking a nice nap.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, we got other ones going on over here.
Jeez Louise.
Look at that, man.
That's some bright stuff.
Look at that.
We're going to be working on that one in a little while after I'm done on the other side. And the next session we're going to add what's going to go over there. But it's going to end up being, I think, a full sleeve, maybe. Yeah, she agrees. So.
That's incredible, dude.
That's gorgeous.
Great. Very quiet. I'm jealous.
They said that they're jealous of me.
Hey, Bruno, the tattoo you do on me better look that good.
You got it, buddy. You got it.
I like that nervous laughter.
Yeah.
No pressure. No pressure.
So we've got a couple of other comments from the YouTube. Gabe said, Seth, you should swing by one of your Massachusetts trips.
Who said that?
Gabe.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm living up here between here and media, so we can definitely link up. Just shoot me an email, man. I'll catch up with you, or Jason, if you want to give him a number, that's fine.
Okay. We also have Tevin Werpuri. Sorry if I butchered your name there. And let me put this back on gallery. Who commented, hello from New Zealand. Thanks for the great platform to aid in becoming a better artist.
Right on. Thanks for tuning in, dude.
They also commented, do you have any advice for amateur artists in terms of confidence building?
Do we have any advice for what? What was the question?
Amateur artists in terms of confidence building.
Practice and critiques. Constructive criticism from your peers is probably one of the best things that I've learned, is the most motivating for me, and confidence building as well. Learning on the right track.
I actually seek out the harshest critics I can find. Joe Capobianco. Just to like completely tear me to shreds. Like that to me is like, okay, I know what I need to work on now, and I am not going to stop working on it until I am an expert. I'm going to revisit all of my fundamentals. I'm going to revisit everything. I'm going to take more education. I'm going to do everything I have to do in order to become an expert with the things that get directly pointed out to me. So like, that's one thing that really motivates me and really helps me build confidence. And it helps me build confidence because it's like, okay, well, they didn't mention that I need to work on this, so I'm assuming that's okay. They didn't mention I need to work on that, so that's a plus. You know, maybe it's a really tough area that you were really worried about, and they don't bring it up at all. Great, awesome. You
You bring up a good point, Jason, about doing working on the fundamentals, like how important staying fresh with fundamentals are, even for people that have been tattooing for decades. Like I still will sit down and draw just a sheet of water and not have any direction for what I'm looking for in it or which way it's going. I'm just trying to practice my strokes and the pencil strokes and the repetition. Learning a language is one thing, but perfecting it before you start speaking slang is a completely other one. And to just remember that no matter how well versed or proficient you become in anyone's style, it's so important to go back to the basics on a regular basis and exercise that part of your brain, and that'll fuel other things.
Absolutely.
I have a friend, his name is Akira Beard. He's an incredible painter. He used to be an art professor for a university in California. Now he's a tattoo artist. And, even him at his level, right? Like one time he was like, yeah, man, I'm just, kind of every now and again, I go back to like the basics, and he starts playing around with like lighting and spheres and like the basics literally, and just to keep it fresh, and to and it's kind of like working out, in a way, like
100%.
You stop going to the gym, like you lose a little bit of that muscle memory and so on, and like going back to the basics, it's like what kind of keeps you, fit.
Yeah. And then you discover too, man, how many times have you guys gone back to the basics on something and discovered something new, right? Like while practicing these old things, you're like, oh shit, man, look at, I could now approach this project this way. And I never would have thought to do that had I not just, taken a step back.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I think going back to the basics, back to the beginning is a good thing to do. You know what I mean? It's always important to remember the roots, to remember the fundamentals, because it's in everything. It's in every complex image that you see. It's all there.
Yeah.
And it's just the exploitation or the understanding of, not necessarily exploitation, but the understanding of how that is affected by its own environment, right? So like that's awesome.
Yeah, man. Also, tell them to sign up to Reinventing the Tattoo subscription, right?
Yeah, well,
Boing, boom.
There you go.
Dropping plugs.
It really has, dude. It really, I know, as much as a plug that is, it's true though. You know, like I remember when I first signed on here, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I don't feel like I'm growing at all. I'm not feeling too much benefit from a lot of the peers that I have. And it's not that I'm looking for that entirely all the time, but some kind of influence for sure, some kind of step in the right direction where you're not feeling like you're just kind of treading in the same spot or like on a treadmill almost. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like it's time to make a change and it's time to do something different. And part of what was different for me was actually just like talking in public. You know what I mean? And like showing my art to other artists and stuff like that. And it's important. So confidence in yourself is definitely, like Jason was saying earlier, what is it that I don't feel confident in? You know what I mean? Is it that I'm fearful of what other people are going to say about my artwork, which is true for all of us to a certain point, right? It's true for all of us. It's like we're exposing ourselves. We're exposing this like tender little nerve in your, you know, in your gum line, and it's sensitive. You know what I mean? And you don't want people to affect it. It's good to protect it as much as you can. Yeah, you know. And it's like, dude, you're trying your best to keep yourself protected because that's what we learn to do in a natural habitat, like as a human being, is stay away from harm. You know, but you have, if you're wanting to grow and if you want to gain that confidence, you have to allow yourself to be exposed entirely, because without it, you're just going to stay in the same spot.
That's where you learn the most, you know, like from those mistakes, you know, like if it wasn't for the mistakes that you're going to make, like for example, one time what happened to me was that, you know, I was hesitant to join one of the Monday night classes because, you know, like the sketch that I was working on wasn't so good, and my neighbor was here, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to join this one because, man, I'm struggling tonight. And she was like, well, even a better reason to join, because that's where, you know, you're going to learn the most, you know, like, and she was right, you know, and I was like, damn. And so, you know, I realized that it comes to, like, it has to do with just kind of surrendering to where you are, you know, like the level that you're in, and being okay with it. You know, we all have gone through it, you know, and we all are going through it, you know. We're just trying to get better, and we can't compare ourselves. We just have to, you know, keep doing it, keep doing the thing, and take advantage of the opportunities that we get. Like, for example, Reinventing the Tattoo, sharing a Monday night class with a bunch of artists that are looking to get a similar result to what you're doing, and so you get their perspective, you know, things like that. The critiques that Jason was talking about, man, that's so huge, because it really, you know, you could only see
regarding critiques, by the way, if you are very sensitive in any way, shape, or form at all, do not submit your stuff to Drunk Critique. It is brutal on another level that you have never imagined. We get wasted and we just rip tattoos apart.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we will point out every flaw we can see without mercy. So if you are sensitive,
fun, man. I got to get on.
If you are not on your game, do not submit your stuff to geta@drunkcritique.com.
Well, here's the funny part, Jason, is that you were the host this last time, and I was like, shit, man, I forgot to send some pictures in. Where do I send them? And you're like, just send them to me. I sent them straight to you, and I sent you a couple that were like, I think decent tattoos, but the other ones you put up there, not so much decent tattoos. And it was just like, boom, got toasted, dude. It was great.
Yeah, man, it's
hilarious.
I'm so totally
thank you
down
for
that learning experience.
Oh, Seth, you would love it, man. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. You never know what direction's going to come in, and you never know what's going to happen. Like, who knows? Joe Capobianco could jump in the Zoom and start going off on a rant and smashing things. Right?
30 minutes, shred your tattoo.
It's happened before. It may happen again.
I love it.
More black lines. Yep.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Awesome.
Well, guys,
yeah, I got to follow you guys
off
online, man. I'll make sure I do that.
Dude. What's your name on Instagram?
It's at Seth Mushrush. MUSHRUSH, spelled exactly how it sounds.
Okay. That's Mushrush.
Weren't you going to change that at one point in time to at
Go
the
for it.
greatest tattooer ever?
Yeah, I don't think so. No way. I know better. Then I'll definitely end up on drunk critiques.
Oh yeah, you will.
No way, man.
No, and that's one thing that I love about this platform is like we're all here to get better. We all recognize that we're not perfect. You know, we have flaws and we have things we need to work on, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
You know, that's just part of being an artist.
Yeah, it's the best part, man. It's getting better, right? Like seeking out, like it's just so much fun, man. Like you guys, I think Ricardo was talking about, you know, playing guitar. You know, I play, but it's not. I mean, I'm nowhere near proficient or anything. It's just fun to explore, right? And when you feed that part of your brain, when you're putting those extra folds in there, man, it's it's a feeling. There's something about creating and learning and learning from other people and being inspired in areas you didn't think you would be. It's really awesome, man. There's nothing like it. It's, you know, making a sports analogy again, it's like hitting the grand slam, right? Like you hit it and you're it's not your complete work. It's the journey that you take to get there, right?
Right.
The other day, I was just talking about this, and I think I found a quote that's kind of like along what we're saying is like your world is your conditioned awareness. It's like forever reflecting that which you are aware of being, right? So the more things that we expose ourselves to, the more understanding that we have of ourselves, of our art, of the things that we invest ourselves in, and the things that we surround ourselves with, that's what's going to become our reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with, you know, like the things that we overcome in our personal life, in our business life, the things that we learn along the way. Some of the hardest moments have been the best thing that's ever happened to me. You know what I mean? Like some of those hardest truths that just punch you in the face, or like you're there for that reason because you did this to yourself, or because you didn't realize what it was that you're getting into, whatever it is. You know what I mean? That tattoo that could have been better. It becomes more of your reality, right?
100%, man. That's a good line, dude.
Yeah. So
now we're getting on to like a whole nother deep level. And I have not had enough coffee for this yet today.
Yeah.
Just
coffee. I forgot I got a nitro in the fridge. God damn it. I'm excited.
There you go.
Gotta love those nitro cold brews.
I'm telling you. Just
yeah, Seth, I'll have to have the next time you're in Pennsylvania and there's a drunk critique going on, I have to have you over for some cocktails and a drunk critique.
Please.
It would be a riot.
Yeah, I am definitely looking forward to it, man.
Speaking of which, Gabe, if you are still listening, we need to figure out for the next dates for drunk critique. I know a lot of people that are interested in getting in on it. So please, let's figure out a date and time for the next one.
Yeah, Ricardo, you had mentioned about charcoal drawing earlier. So I just took a painting class with David Kassan on painting the eye, and he has dude, he is so stinking nice, and him and his wife are both incredibly talented. The class was amazing. It was really awesome. But he has a charcoal drawing the female figure coming up, and I think it's only a 3-hour seminar, but just want to let everybody know I'm definitely getting on that, and they're very affordable. They're the online Zoom seminars, so and then he gives you like access to all of this knowledge. I mean, to all of this stuff after the fact, and I think he makes them available for like another 30 days or something after you even take the class.
He draws a lot of the ways with charcoal that I do with the the pastel knives and things like that.
Yeah, man. I've never even I watched him lay out. That's how he laid out the painting that we did. The painting the eye. He did it with that, and it was just. I was like, yes, that's what I need. One of those. Like it was so awesome just to watch his process and share that knowledge. It was really cool.
Yeah, I had let's see. I came across some of his paintings, man. They are just so stinking good. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what else to say about them. It's other than like out of this world good, dude. Like he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
From beginning to end process, like the way he starts. I love the way he narrows things down. You know, it's just so broad, and then it goes back into like some tighter details and things like that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty organized for sure.
100%. Yeah. You know, he does. He's painting a lot of his stuff is with. He talks about, you know, in rather like I took a Sean Barber painting class, and the approach is a little bit different, right? Like where he's blocking things in and blending them out. Where David is using tiny paint strokes and basically knitting the colors together, you know, like it's just, it's really awesome. But it goes back again to like looking outside of tattooing for things that will help inform the tattoo process, you know, or painting process, whatever your attack is. But just how
it's a lot about, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. Go right ahead, man.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's a lot of what we talk about on Monday nights and stuff like that with Guy. And it's a lot of things that I talk about like on Tuesday mornings and stuff like that is like, we are tattoo artists. We do fall into this idea of the illustrator, you know what I mean? Like with line work and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely the foundation of tattooing that does implement those things that are a necessity, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
that just comes across with the medium, right? It's the actual medium that we're using to apply the artwork on. And that's the reason those fundamentals work so well. But what happens is that we get tied up into that idea, into our everyday art, that it kind of like pulls back into it. And we do need those outside fundamentals to kind of help us to be inspired for our artwork and tattooing too. So I agree with you completely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's getting to be about that time. Oh, wait, we just had another great comment from Tevin. Tevin says, "Great attempt. It's a Maori name, and even people here can't get it right." So, thank you for that. Okay. I thought I completely butchered it, so sorry. And thank you for all of your responses. I loved the learning a language and working out examples. So, well, awesome. I'm happy to oblige there. But yeah, I've got
Jason knows how important working out is, especially at 5 a.m. in the morning, right, Jason?
Why you got to bring that up, man? Why you got to bring that up? You know I don't wake up at 5. You know I'm not possible with that. Not when I go to sleep
like
at 4
with no children.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a cat. Does that count?
Sure.
No.
Tell me about
That's actually negative. That's actually negative. That's you're actually going the wrong way. Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way? Oh, man.
You want to get up and attack today? Yeah. Dude, chase a child around. That'll do it.
Nope. That's a hard pass for me. Hard pass.
Jason's cat is pretty nice. He's pretty nice.
She's a calico. Her name is Stella. She's 8 years old, and she does not like people except for me.
Give me to her.
Me at all.
That checks out. Give me to her.
She does want to playmate though, and apparently Bomber is right up her alley. So I may have to kidnap your dog.
You'd have to come over here first.
I mean, I did meet a whole bunch of people from your area.
Nice.
I did.
Jokes on you,
at the convention.
He did a video from your house.
Well, I mean,
I got Bomber.
I think I sent you on Instagram the link to getting a temporary guest spot license in Oregon, right?
You did.
Ricardo, did I send that to you too?
Did you send it recently?
Probably within the last week.
I don't think I got it recently. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know when I'm going to be able to make it out that way because I'm traveling a lot this year.
No worries.
Like I thought I was traveling a lot last year. Last year is nothing compared to this year. And I didn't even plan on it. I've got a convention at the end of the month that I didn't even know I was working at.
Nice. What are you doing?
Well, I think I've got one appointment lined up, but it's the Skin Industry Expo in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh man, that's a great one, dude. Steve is the shit, man. That guy is such a good dude, and that show it's a true old school. Like if anybody's been around and had the opportunity to go to a convention in like the late 90s, this is as close as you're gonna get to it, man. It's such a small venue, and it's like an artist's. It's like the convention for tattoo artists. You know what I mean? Like if that makes any sense. Like it's just you're all in the same area. It's a small room. I mean, as much fun as Troy's conventions can be. I mean, they can be a little overwhelming, and Steve's show is like
a little overwhelming.
Every artist in the same bar at the end of the night, or the same restaurant, just sharing ideas, bullshitting, and you get to know everybody so well. It's awesome.
Oh, by the way, Seth, before I forget, Dennis Smythe says hi.
All right.
Apparently, you worked next to him for a couple of years in a row at the Skin Industry Expo.
Yeah, I sure did, man. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like it's an old school show, man. Like I remember Dennis very well. Yeah. I remember bringing all my Phillies paintings and putting them up, creating a wall like a complete jerk that I was. I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again. Hanging all of this stuff. It was such a narcissistic move. They were busting my stones all weekend. It was great. Yeah, man, it's fun, man. What's up, Dennis?
Yeah, I worked with Dennis at another studio for quite a few years, and every year we get together and we work the Philly show together. Yeah, and I was talking to him about heading out there doing an upcoming, by the way, sneak peek. Seth and I are trying to arrange a date and time to get together to do a portrait seminar, a live tattooing Q&A portrait seminar, where I'll be traveling out to Seth and setting up a whole bunch of cameras, doing a whole bunch of live streaming, and he'll be answering questions on the spot as far as what he's using, how he's doing it, what spells he's casting, what type of magic he's conjuring, and all that kind of stuff. He'll be answering all of those questions live. Please stay tuned for the date. It's to be determined. Whether it's color or black and gray has yet to be decided. I think we're leaning towards color, maybe.
Whatever we can work out.
Yeah, listen, even if I have to donate a patch of skin, I don't have much left, but
we'll get someone.
Yeah. I don't foresee that being an issue.
No, we'll rock it out. I'll put it out there. I'd like to do an Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Dang, dog.
Randy Rhoads, something like that. It'd be fun.
That'd be killer.
How much fun do you want to have doing it? Because I've got an idea for you.
All of the fun. I mean, whatever it is, man, I'm gonna have a good time. It
would take a bit of drawing, but
what do you think about doing, Jason?
Well, I already have one Cholo Yoda, and I was thinking about getting another one.
Ooh.
Cholo Yoda.
Yeah, think super thugged out gangster Yoda.
Oh my gosh.
Like OG, like face tats, gold chains, the whole nine.
Trying to get me into Mashcow territory. I don't know, man. You ever see that guy's work? He's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But just putting the bug in your ear. The problem is I don't know where we would put it.
Yeah. We'll find someone. I got enough people down in that Philly area that are, looking to get stuff. So we'll get somebody. We'll dial somebody in for sure. Not that I'm at all shying away from a Cholo Yoda.
I've already got one that's done, unfinished, but I'm always down to get something else Yoda related. So Yoda is my spirit animal.
And
not just because we're the same size.
I had to fanboy it out. I wore my Chewbacca shirt to do the Chewbacca tattoo.
Oh yeah, perfect, that's awesome, dude.
Fun.
I know, dude. I did a Boba Fett tattoo. I was pretty much doing the same thing. We were watching nothing but Star Wars and stuff. I had my Star Wars shirt on and everything.
Yeah, you got to get into the mode, right?
You gotta summon the power. You gotta be one with the Force.
That's it, brother.
The mode of Boba Fett watching the new Boba Fett or the old?
No, the old Boba Fett. We were just watching the old stuff. It was right before. It was actually, you know what? It's funny that you said that. Yeah, dude, it's funny that you said that because we were actually talking about that. How excited we were about that series and stuff. And he pretty much messaged me one time. He's like, "I'm disappointed," is all he said. It's like, me too, buddy. Me too.
But I'm not.
That's the thing. You have to.
So it happens a lot these days. Like the other day, I just picked a movie and I put Venom and Carnage or whatever just to see what happened. And man, it was like terrible. My client was like, "Hey, dude, can you actually lower the volume, man? Like this movie's annoying." Like it was that bad.
Wow, I think that's one of the harshest movie criticisms I think I've ever heard.
Dude,
that actually was a pretty bad movie.
I'm not saying it wasn't terrible. I'm just saying, like, I didn't expect that criticism to be that bad. That was brutal.
I watched
honest,
the new,
but brutal.
I watched the new Batman last night, or the night before last night. That was pretty good.
Oh man, I heard a lot of good things about that one. Robert Pattinson and Michael Keaton.
Yep.
No,
oh no, Michael Keaton.
Was he in that one? Was he? He was Thomas Wayne, right?
No, I don't think so.
So I was talking with my. Okay, I was talking with my client the other day about something like that. Oh, bye.
They're gonna. What's up?
Oh no, so my client, my coworker, was just heading out. Yeah, they were talking about Michael Keaton coming back and playing, and it was a different universe for Batman or something where he's Thomas Wayne and he had seen his his son Bruce and his wife get killed and he becomes like a different type of Batman.
That it's what is the name of that comic line? I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but they will be doing this alternate universe thing with DC here pretty soon too, though.
Yeah,
it's pretty much right in sync with the whole Marvel universe.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
So, but yeah, that new Doctor Strange looks awesome too, man. I'm pretty excited about that too.
Hell yeah, man. Cool.
Well, guys, I hate to do this, but it's getting to be about that time. So why don't we go ahead and do a few sign-offs? Medusa, we'll start with you. Go through and do us a favor. Tell us where we can reach you and what your Instagram is and a little bit about you.
Okay. My name is Medusa Slays. And I'm in Portland, Oregon at Lady Luck Tattoo. I am on the World Wide Web at medusaslays.com. And on the Instagram, I am at Medusa Slays with 3 S's at the end. So if you read it, it's like Medusa Slays. And no, it's I won't turn you to stone, but I might make you rock hard.
Okay, moving right along.
That was so good. That was good.
Bruno, we'll go to you, man. Why don't you give us a quick sign off?
Sounds good, buddy.
I don't know if he's gonna top that one.
No, how can he top that one?
Yeah, no, he's not top that one. She won. I'm Bruno Salvatierra. I tattoo from Miami, Florida, and it's been a pleasure, guys. Hanging out, talking art, tattoos. Thank you, Reinventing the Tattoo, for providing this platform. Jason, making it happen, hosting it. You guys are awesome. And if anybody wants to reach me on Instagram, my Instagram is at Prismas_art, PRISMAS_art.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Ricardo, we'll go to you next. And we just lost your video.
There we go. Is that better?
There we go. Much better.
There we are. Yeah, my name is Ricardo Sturdivant. It's a pleasure to be here. Medusa, thanks for the laughs. That was pretty good. Seth, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
I think I've talked to you on here before. Yeah, man, I look forward to talking to you again, dude. Look forward to seeing some of your work and stuff too. Everybody in the chats, dude, thank you so much for being a participant in it, and thanks for asking all the good questions. There's some really good ones today. You feel free to join me on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern time for the Tuesday Feels. My name is Ricardo Sturdivant. You can find me on Instagram at Candor Tattoo. Just hit me up, see what's up. Talk to you guys later.
Later, man.
Awesome. And Seth, we'll move over to you.
Awesome. My name is Seth Mushrush. I've been tattooing for over 22 years. Right now, back and forth between the Philly area and up in Massachusetts. Jason, it's been a pleasure getting to be involved with this stuff and meeting some new friends on here and just talking shop. It's very inspiring. So I'm looking forward to doing more of this in the future with you guys and following everybody on Instagram. If anybody wants to follow me, check my stuff out. But the website is SethMushrushArt.com. It's spelled exactly how it sounds, MUSHRUSH. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Seth Mushrush. And looking forward to meeting more people, man. This is awesome. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Peace.
And let me go to myself. And there we go. So thanks, guys, for tuning in today. As I mentioned before, if you like today's show, if you like the content and what we were discussing, please click the like and subscribe buttons down below. And make sure that you tell your friends about this show. We try to do it every Sunday at 1 p.m. As long as I'm not traveling for a convention or anything like that, please know that this is going to be going on every Sunday at 1, and we'll be here. So please tell all of your friends, tattoo enthusiasts, other artists, even if they don't do tattoos, tell them to tune in. We always have great discussions. And if you ever want to jump in, by all means, send me a message on Instagram. You can find it in the upper right corner of the screen. And I believe it's like right up here. Yep. At Philly Inc. You can find me there. Send me a DM and I'll shoot you the Zoom link for next Sunday. Otherwise, hope everyone's doing well. What was that?
It's on Roku too now.
Yeah, we are on the Roku channel. So yeah, give it a look. Thank you everyone for jumping in today. And yeah, cheers. Hope to see you guys all again next Sunday.
Have a good one, man. Later.